It is our mission to embrace the ideal that our show shall always strive to belittle the stupid and to play an occasional song. We shall also strive to take all of your requests, but to never, under any circumstances, play those requests. It is our mission to offend as many people as we can in the shortest time possible. We shall always remember that no matter how pointless and stupid the things we say are, we shall present them in such a way that they will be lessons that will last a lifetime. We shall strive always to do nothing and to be mean. We shall strive mightily to always be the #1 morning show in Salt Lake, or, if not that, the #2 morning show, or at least somewhere in the top 15 or 20 morning shows. At least once a year, we shall go to someone's home, and we shall eat really good food, and we'll make you wish that you could be there to share it with us. And finally, it is our mission to always remind the listeners that we never lie, and we're always right. So let it be written, so let it be done.
The usual gang of misfits and dope addicts are here.
Well, okay then. Because it was some time. This happens sometimes. Maybe on this day?
On this day.
Yeah, okay.
John Lydon, frontman for the Sex Pistols,
And PIL.
known as Johnny Rotten,
Yeah.
was born.
What year was that?
He is 62.
62.
And just as grouchy as
Yep.
ever.
He's wonderful.
And that was
He's
just a
he's a miserable human being.
He's a wonderful guy.
I didn't say he's wonderful, and he will tell you, yes, I am a miserable.
When did he last tell you that?
We've interviewed him.
I know. When did he? But did he tell you that when we interviewed him?
That's a little deep cut from Never Mind the Bullocks.
You should go see that documentary, and we interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Westwood, and it's about Vivienne Westwood, the fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea the influence that she had on forming the Sex Pistols. It was in her little London.
She was married to Malcolm McLaren.
Yeah,
who John Lydon hates.
Yes.
But it was in her little fashion shop in London where they sort of gathered together these, scraggly kids and said, hey.
That's you for perpetuating the myth that Malcolm McLaren and Vivienne Westwood were responsible for the Sex Pistols. Well, let me tell you this right now. We were responsible for the Sex Pistols. I was responsible for the Sex Pistols. Malcolm McLaren was an arse.
No.
And had nothing to do with it. He was an arse. That'd be John
It was
Lydon.
a Sex Pistols documentary that I saw where they interviewed, and the interviews with Malcolm McLaren, he was wearing some sort of gas mask the entire time.
He was a weirdo.
Yeah, that would be him. Yeah.
And when I came up with the idea,
Yeah,
He was a weirdo.
He liked to. Well, he knew what he was doing. He liked to make a show of it.
Exactly.
Anyway, hi. This is a. Oh wait, excuse me. We should.
Yes, yes.
This is not the official part of the show. This is just where we kind of mess around, and it's nothing.
It's a
nothing.
warm up.
But we should say that coming up, this is continuing coverage. This is official. This is deep. This is
Very
the special edition of the Radio from Hell show, the State of the Union address. Yeah, there you go. Special edition of the Radio from Hell show, State of the Union coverage.
It was last night. Why are we?
Well, we're analyzing it. We're talking about it, and we're
picking it apart.
We're gonna find out why Joseph Kennedy III had drool on the side of his mouth.
That was unfortunate, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's always something with because that's when Rubio had his water problem, and
Bobby Jindal did his weird. Yeah.
You should never agree to do the counter.
So Joseph Kennedy delivered the Democratic response to the State of the Union.
Mm-hmm.
in front of a wrecked car. I don't. He was.
Oh no, I didn't get that.
Yeah,
part.
there was a wrecked car in the background.
I didn't watch any of it.
You know, so there were people making jokes. Was that Teddy Kennedy's car that went to Chappaquiddick? Hey, was that it? Hey,
bad
Mary Jo.
but
What a bad choice.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
it was like at some auto shop or something. And I don't know. I didn't listen to his response, so I don't know if he must have referenced it or said why he was.
We're here with the hardworking men and women, or
Yeah,
something.
but then he has a horrible voice.
yeah.
Here to deliver the Democratic response to the. Oh, geez. And then he had some kind of crud, some kind of shiny.
They said it was.
Chapstick
They said
or
it was
something.
like he was super dry, so he put on too much chapstick.
Yeah,
is
and
what they said.
And there's a big shiny drool spot at the corner of his mouth,
That's too bad.
and he was awful.
I'm just.
He was as and we'll get it because this is special
Do we have to?
special coverage, the State of the Union.
Could we be a
In
dumb?
depth.
Could we be a dumb morning show today? Could we do that? Yeah, like that stuff.
Well, I don't feel well, and I'm kind of gassy, so
I'm
I
just
feel.
so
I
over
couldn't
it all.
sleep last night. I kept.
It's the moon.
I,
No, I'm not. I'm not
Well,
kidding.
I think the moon may be making all the dogs in my neighborhood act weird.
So
Yours too?
Riley was literally howling at.
the
She
moon?
she
It
was
is,
kept asking to go outside.
yeah, so did
and was-
Ripley and Hudson.
I
We'll
think
we'll tell you about it coming up, but the moon right this minute is eclipsing.
You can't.
it's
tell.
cloudy.
Oh yeah, you
so-
can't. And I don't. I think if you in Utah you would see if it weren't cloudy you would see a partial. I think it's a partial eclipse. You have to be like in Australia to have. But I'm watching a live feed of the eclipse from Perth, Australia. It's a blood moon.
Do we
and
need the
it's an
moon
eclipse.
song?
Oh yeah.
Oh, by all means, we
Coming
need
up.
full strength. So we'll get the show started. 877-602-9696. Your check-ins is a nice way for us to start the show. You call and tell us what you're doing, where you're going, how your day, how you think your day is going to be. I was stopped on the street yesterday, right in front of our building, by a guy on a bicycle who said, "Hey, do you know where there's a payphone? I need a payphone."
Did you say what's a payphone?
And I thought to myself, what? A payphone?
I'll bet in the lobby of just about any of these hotels, they probably still have them.
Maybe. I don't know. But so 877-602-9696. If somebody would ask you where a payphone is, would you know? I said, I have no idea.
That would be the
Sorry.
first
I
place
don't
would
remember
turn 'em.
the last time I saw one in
I'd say
Salt
that.
Lake.
What is this? The Hilton now? Yeah.
Yeah. There might be.
The lobby of the
Might
Hilton,
be.
because it's an older hotel. Maybe the Peary. I don't know.
877-602-9696. Check in, let us know what you're doing, and let us know if you know where there's a payphone.
All right.
All right.
Well, that and we'll start the show coming up after these. Also, got to tell you about social axe throwing.
Hi.
I had a lot of fun doing this. I didn't know what to expect going in. I didn't think I'd be able to do it.
I didn't either, and I thought I didn't think you'd be able to do it either.
Because it sounds awful manly, but you guys said that there were women that were showing you
the
how to
women
do
were
it.
teaching us how to do it.
The two women who run this social axe throwing place, they are great.
Yes.
And one of them used to be a softball player at Weber
okay.
State. She was a pitcher, I think. So social axe throwing is great. It's great fun. And the social axe throwing place, there's one up in Ogden. It opened in March of last year. And now here in Salt Lake, Social Axe Throwing SLC. Their grand opening is coming up on February 17th. They're still working on the details. And they'll get them. We'll tell you about that as soon as they can. But go to socialaxethrowing.com. It'll tell you all about it.
Somebody said, "What is this exactly?" And I said, "Well, I guess the best way to describe it is think of it as like going bowling, except instead of bowling, you're throwing axes at a wooden target.
I didn't
You
get
know?
to go with you guys, but it seems like it'd be really satisfying.
It is actually when you land.
Yeah.
When you learn to stick that thing, that's really fun.
That
Now,
when it chunk, you just
Yeah.
go yes.
So there's Social Axe Throwing in Ogden. They're open, going for business. They're up on Washington Boulevard. And then there's one in Salt Lake City now. And I think they're open now, but the grand opening is
soft
coming
opening.
up. But they're, you can go in. So if you want to find out more about it, just go to socialaxethrowing.com.
Hi there, it's Kerry Jackson. Geek Show is me and all my best friends sitting in my basement studio, drinking, laughing, and talking about the stuff we love. Sci-fi, movies, TV shows, comic books, toys, games, and more. Get a new Not Safe for Work episode every Monday morning.
Showpodcast.com.
Your trainer isn't coming in today, is he?
Yeah.
Gina?
Yeah,
Zach?
I guess.
Oh, because I'm worried.
Why?
I lost his pen. I lost the pen.
You
he
had
gave
it
me.
yesterday.
Already.
Yes.
You had.
And I lost it between. See, you see what I mean?
You just had it
I said I
yesterday.
lost his pen, and did you hear the
It was right
the
there.
note? Did you hear the note of attack in her voice? Well, you had it yesterday.
I saw you with it. We talked about your pen yesterday.
And I lost it after that.
So it was in here, and then where did you go?
Let's retrace your steps, Bill.
Let's not.
What'd you do right after the show yesterday?
I know the last time I saw my pen
Where was it?
at the when I was at the grocery store.
Oh. I thought,
What?
I thought it was a work pen. You take it from
A
here
work
to your
pen?
desk.
What's a work pen?
I don't
Pen
know.
you leave at work.
With your work papers.
I'm just nervous.
Carry your same pen around with you all day. You got a pen in your
I
car.
carry
you
it
got a
right here,
pen.
and it's gone.
Work pen?
But I'm just.
So you always have a pen at work.
Gina, what would you
take it
possibly
home.
do with a work pen?
Oh, no.
Why do you don't need a
Doodle.
pen at work? You don't need a
Doodle
pen
while
at
I'm on
work.
the phone.
It's a pen she's had since she was a child. It's never run out of ink.
So,
You have pens at home. You have a pen in your car. You have a pen at work. You don't carry the same pen everywhere.
I like that pen.
yeah.
That
Not
pen-
enough to keep track of
Well,
it.
Now, what happens if you take your pen from work home? Does it become a home pen, or is it still designated work pen and you better get it back?
No, because that's traveling twice. It might not
What?
make it back. That's a home pen now. You
It's a
gotta
home
get
pen
new pen
now.
at work.
How you doing, home pen? How you
Wow.
doing, home pen?
I'd like to use this pen. Unfortunately, it's
my
my home pen.
And use
Ed Brass
my
is
home pen.
Ed Brass
Hold on,
is,
let me give you the number. Oh, I only have my home pen here.
Ed Brass has a theory as to where your pen is. He says that it's probably sticking out of the guy's eye socket from the Zappa concert last night.
Yeah. Could be. Well, I just don't want Zach to find out that I lost the pen he gave me.
Well, he knows now.
He's a pen lover like you are.
Yeah.
Pen lover.
Yo,
We have laws against that
yo,
kind of
pen
thing.
lover.
Watch it.
On X96, call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
That's what you do.
Because I have tried to go to the Moon website too many times,
Oh no, have you crashed?
I've been told that I can't do it anymore.
You've abused your moon privileges.
I have abused my moon privileges today.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's almost, there's just a sliver of moon left for the eclipse.
It is 100% of full right now, and it is also eclipsing, and I believe it'll be in the sky for a while longer. But I think it's too cloudy. At least when I was out, I couldn't see it.
Can't see it.
But if you go, there are any number of sites where you can go watch the moon being eclipsed.
Everybody look at the moon. Everybody seeing the moon.
The moon is
My
a
little
Milky Way.
future rocket scientist was all worried last night that she was saying, "Dad, remember to wake me up because I want to." She's going to be
All right. Well,
disappointed.
let's officially begin the show. So the moon is eclipsing.
And before you should, Bill, before you
Yeah.
start, take a little sip of Mill Creek coffee, just quickly, just
Okay.
so to wet your whistle before you start the show.
Oh yeah, I see. I'm supposed to take a sip of Mill Creek coffee.
It's
it says
scheduled
it
right there.
I know. I love Mill Creek coffee, and I have a thermos of it right here, and so I will.
Good.
Mill Creek, it's the best. I think it's a White Mountain blend that I'm doing this morning. All right. So anyway, the moon is eclipsing, and it will continue to do that today. Today being Wednesday, the 31st day of January in the year of our Lord 2018. And this is North America's most evocative radio broadcast. It's the Radio from Hell show starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, hello, Gina Barberi. The senior executive producer and lady-in-waiting to the Radio from Hell show is Richard Stedman, but he is not here today. He's in Hawaii. Let's see, Dylan Allred is producing video for the show today. You can see us live at x96.com/live, along with very interesting pictures with the news and all of that kind of thing, sometimes videos. We ought to be showing a feed of the moon eclipsing, Dylan, if you could do that. Also, Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal, helping out today. We'll take your check-ins right now, 877-602-9696.
We need must-gos.
Yes. Today
We're
we're
low.
doing things that must go. You can email them in, radiofromhell@x96.com, put must go in the subject line. You don't have to have a whole list, just one thing that's
It could be
bugging you.
a quick line,
I got one thing that's bugging me, and I'm going to do that today. But so give us a call. Tell us what you're doing. It's check-ins right now.
There we go. All right, let's go to, let's see, this is Bradford. Bradford is checking in.
Bradford. Good morning, Bradford.
Well, good morning, Radio from Hell.
Bradford, what are you doing today? What's up?
I was just heading home from work, work at the graveyard. You know how it works.
You work in a graveyard?
No, I work the graveyard.
You
at a
work
truck
at,
stop.
what do you do at the graveyard?
At a truck stop.
There's a graveyard
Yep,
at the truck stop?
I'm officially the guy who works the counter and cleans the store.
Oh, I see.
Is it a Love's?
A pilot?
No, it's a Flying J.
Oh, okay.
A Flying J, okay. And now, do you get many customers in the graveyard there?
You'd be surprised some of the characters I see.
I bet.
You got the lot, what do they call them? The lot ladies? The
lot lizards.
Lot lizards. Get a few of those?
Oh, yeah, we get those frequently.
Yeah. They come in to take a bird bath in the bathroom.
Gross. God.
little armpit action.
Oh, come on. They only use the toilet to bathe their dogs in.
Oh,
Sure.
To bathe their dogs.
Okay, well. Bradford, now, Bradford, if I were to ask you, do you know where a payphone is? Would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, it's right outside this door over by the Denny side.
Yes.
Of my store.
There
Of course
you
he's
go.
got a payphone at the truck stop.
There you go. All right, Bradford, thanks a lot. Thanks for checking in. Listen to the show for a while and then get some sleep, okay?
You got it.
All right,
All right.
see you later.
Thank you. This is Craig.
And that's it. Nobody else has called.
877-602-9696.
I hope they're writing their must goes and emailing them. I hope
Yes.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Craig.
How are you, Craig?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm good.
What's going on?
Just Just heading home from work.
Yeah, and where do you work, Craig?
I work at the airport.
Oh, yeah. Now, do you like the name Craig or Craig?
Yeah.
You do?
What's your middle name, Craig?
Leon.
Craig Leon. You should go by Leon.
I like Leon.
I'd be Leon.
I often wish my name was Leroy. I like that name. Doesn't go with Allred very well. But,
Leroy.
like Leroy Jackson. That's a good name.
Carrie, you should totally be a Leroy.
Leroy?
Leroy Jackson.
I knew a kid with a last name Leroy.
I know
in high school.
An old friend of mine, painter friend of mine, his name is Leroy, but no one calls him that. They just call him Lee.
But this is Craig.
Craig.
His middle name is Deuce. That's a good.
Leroy, you go by Deuce.
Leroy
then.
Deuce Jennings.
Although that could be bad too.
Deuce is bad.
It could be poop.
Well, isn't that a Duke?
Deuce as well.
Deuce also.
Yeah.
So, okay.
None of this has anything to do with Craig.
Is it,
though.
how do you, hey, Craig, do you have to go to the bathroom?
Nope.
Well, okay. Thanks for checking in.
All right, we'll see you.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
He just called in. He called in to listen to us.
Poor guy.
Have a conversation.
Texas Jake is checking in.
Jake.
How's it going, y'all?
It's good, going good, y'all. You see, you're going up Hill Air Force Base, right?
That is correct.
And how many days till retirement?
I got 182 days.
182.
And then we'll never hear from him again.
Oh, sure. You'll call, won't
If
you,
he's
Jake?
retired, he'll be sleeping in.
But
I'll still call.
he'll call, but
Okay.
but he'll have to be calling our individual home numbers because in 182 days, that's where we'll be. So, Jake, I think you've told us, but what town will you retire to in Texas?
I'll be in Stanton, Texas. It's a very small little blip on the map. You have to zoom in real close on the computer to see it.
And what part of Texas is it in?
It's West Texas. It's 2 hours south of Lubbock, where Texas Tech is.
Yeah, West Texas. Yeah, out there on the plain. Well, Jake, have a great day, and may the yellow rose of Texas always bloom for you.
Y'all take care.
You
All
too.
right, see
Bye-bye. Somebody says, I need everything you've got this morning. I'm an 8th grade teacher, and the students go psycho with full moons.
Really? This is
Dogs
something she's
and
observed,
students.
See, Sue said that last night, so I'll bet it's the full moon. And I'm like, it just sounds weird.
No,
you know?
for some reason, Riley kept, and you'd let her out and then bring her back in, and she'd want to go right back out. It was very strange.
They were being dicks last night.
And that's why I couldn't sleep last night, huh? Because of the...
it might
you
be,
think?
yeah.
Could be.
Because I really had a bad time.
Sean, the PayPal data center tech, checking in. It's very specific. Teacher Emily. It would be fun if you guys actually left for the morning because nobody called in. Hi from Spanish Fork.
It's like we're here, you know.
IT guy riding the bus.
No,
Denver FOP.
I'm with her. Like tomorrow.
Just leave.
If everybody decides, let's not call in and see if they leave, let's leave.
Lars in Flagstaff, just watching the eclipse. Also, I couldn't sleep last night, but I don't work until 2, so a nap will not be happening. Jeff the welder, Tim the tree guy. People all calling in with where their payphones are, and apparently what you should have told him is that there's one at every track stop.
Oh.
Is there?
Yeah,
I guess.
That's what I'm getting here.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I have seen. I was gonna say I hadn't noticed, but yeah.
I can't remember the last time I used a payphone.
Is it a quarter?
I
Is that
guess.
how much it is? We
Do you know what? I'm so OCD these days. I think I could be like bleeding out, and I wouldn't call on a payphone to call 911.
Really?
What? Why
Just
is that?
the thought of how dirty a payphone is. I don't know that I could bring myself to touch it.
Also,
Terry wipes.
Also was told that there is no payphone in the lobby of the Hilton because they're worried that people will just come in to use the payphone.
I got you. Now, I used to in high school. There was a payphone at our high school in the hallway.
Yeah, I
somewhere.
remember that.
And we figured out this way: you take a paper clip, you see,
and
you open up the paper clip, and you stick one end of the paper clip in the mouthpiece of the phone, and the other into the key where they would open up to get the money out, and it would somehow click the phone on, and you could use it.
Wow.
You stole phone calls?
We did until they got onto us. And I don't know who figured that out.
And here, when you're all in school, though, who are you calling?
But just anybody, because if you can steal a phone call,
Because isn't everybody you know at school?
if you can rip off Ma Bell,
were happy.
Rip them off.
All right, coming up after these, we've got some news for you and things that must go on the way. Stand by for that. Oh, yes, traffic. I keep forgetting how to radio.
That's okay. I think we're pretty good so far. There's an accident in Tooele County is the only one that's coming up. Crash westbound I-80 at milepost 26. Perhaps you're seeing something, though. Text it to me if you see stuff in the road or an accident that hasn't shown up on our UDOT site yet. Text it to us 33986.
X96 is Utah's original alternative with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding coming up right after Radio from Hell.
6:34. We'll do some news and then things that must go. Big Boy News Now, brought to you by
LASIK at Hoops Vision. Now this resolution is easy. Ask about 24 months, zero interest, and their See Clearly guarantee. Schedule your free LASIK consultation today, 877-30-LASIK, or go to hoopsvision.com.
Well, we will get to the State of the Union address in just a second. But first, a couple of stories to just kind of lull you and relax you, and then we'll just do the State of the Union. And it's now this is kind of a bizarre story. I've had it for a couple of days. Police investigators at the scene of a shooting at Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky. This was a few days ago. And it's the scoop that no reporter would ever want.
I know what you're going to do.
This was January 27th. This was bizarre, and I meant to mention it the day it happened, but here it is. I'll do it now because a lot of people have not heard this.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. A local newswoman uncovered a horrific personal story after rushing to cover the school shooting in Kentucky. The 15-year-old boy who had allegedly shot and killed two classmates was her son.
She found out when she got there.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, she didn't know. Mary Garrison Minyard, editor of the Marshall County Daily Online, learned the terrible news while at the still active scene at the high school. She had raced to Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky on Tuesday morning after word of an active shooter. Only after she arrived did she learn the identity of the handgun-wielding suspect. Minyard's son, Gabe Parker, a sophomore at the school, was taken into custody at the scene. He was initially charged as a juvenile with 2 counts of murder and 12 counts of assault for the students who survived being shot or shot at. Wouldn't that be awful? So,
and we haven't learned any more about his
motive.
or...
Let's see. It doesn't have much about that. Officials have yet to comment on what motivated young Parker to allegedly open fire as students arrived at the school. Minyard divorced Parker's father when the boy was 5, and she declined to comment, and so have members of his father's family.
Haven't learned much more about this since it happened.
But here we'll sweeten the stories. This is great news for next time you go to Paris.
Yes.
France has opened up the very first legal sex robot brothel.
Really?
Yeah.
In France.
They have changed laws.
I would think that would be in Amsterdam or
Japan, I would think.
They have changed laws to so paying for sex has been illegal in France, as it is in many places. But the laws didn't say anything about having paying for sex with a robot, with a silicone sex doll, and so they're allowing it. Says, well, this is not a person, so I guess you could pay for it if you want. With this in mind, a new brothel is opened in Paris where customers can pay to fulfill almost all of their sexual desires with silicone dolls. The official X Dolls site advertises that it has 3 different dolls on offer: Lily, Sophia, and Kim, complete with pictures of each. The whole operation is shrouded in secrecy. In fact, the official website doesn't even offer an address for the brothel other than to say it is somewhere in the 14th arrondissement of Paris. Somewhere in the 14th arrondissement. Sex doll brothel. And that'll be exciting for some people, I suppose. Gonzaga University.
The Bulldogs.
They have asked their students to not dress as Mormon missionaries.
What?
Well,
please do not dress as Mormon missionaries when BYU comes here to play basketball.
So Gonzaga's a Catholic school.
Yeah.
BYU has made itself at home the past 3 years, beating Gonzaga on its home court each year.
I see.
Over that span. And Gonzaga usually is a powerhouse basketball program and actually goes on to do better than BYU, but somehow BYU has beaten them each of the past, I think it's the past 3 years they've played there.
And so the students at Gonzaga dress as Mormon missionaries to kind of mock the BYU students.
So the Gonzaga Bulletin has reported that school administrators are urging students to reconsider dressing as Mormon missionaries.
Reconsider. We're not banning it because we can't.
Only a handful have done so in the past at the 6,000 capacity arena. That's not very big, is it? 6,000 people? BYU plays the Zags this Saturday, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, It'll be on ESPN2.
The Zags?
Gonzaga, the
Okay.
Zags.
All right.
These costumes don't really represent who we are as a university, and it shines bad on us and doesn't show a welcoming community that supports everybody, even Mormons. Colleen Banter, Boom, Assistant Dean of Student Involvement and Leadership, told the Bulletin. So every year it has come up, and we've been talking a lot with the Kennel Club. You see, they're the Bulldogs, and so they have the Kennel Club. And they agree it's not cool, but you can bet students will do it anyway.
There are a lot of people that went to Gonzaga that live here in Utah.
So now Donald Trump's State of the Union address. It was long. It was boring.
I wouldn't know.
It was measured.
I didn't watch it.
Utah Republicans.
He did what we thought. He was teleprompter.
But he talked about beautiful clean coal.
Did he?
There is no such thing as clean coal. No such thing. Sorry. Absolutely.
It's true.
And he also...
It's like a filtered cigarette.
Yeah.
It's still a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he also talked about stuff that people are very... Well, he asked Congress to end the rule of law, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of on the down low, but what he is suggesting, it would undercut every law we have.
Help explain that to me.
I'm going to. During his State of the Union address, Donald Trump called for an end to any semblance of independence for federal agencies.
Oh.
It's deeply dangerous because he finally followed in the footsteps of European leaders like Hungarian President Viktor Orban, who have learned long ago to give an attractive look to authoritarian populism. Trump said, everyone in a federal agency, who works in a federal agency, should have the right to call out the leaders of that agency and have them removed.
So if we don't like what the head of the EPA is saying, then we can have him removed.
Any cabinet secretary could decide that, say, law enforcement official investigating the president had undermined public trust or failed the American people, and then fire him on the spot. In other words, Trump is calling for an end to any semblance of independence for the IRS, the FBI, the Department of Justice, or any other federal agency.
And all those things need to be independent.
Yeah. So he's saying...
Can he just say that and it will happen, or does there have to be some legislation to make that happen?
I don't know that. But he was wildly applauded, particularly at that moment. Very wildly applauded. He also got to the State of the Union site of the State of the Union address without his wife. She did not travel to that event with him.
Not with him. She was there.
She was there. She came in her own separate motorcade.
My guess is that's the way it will be from now on.
Yeah. And after he is removed from office, or after his first term, because he's not going to get a second term, they will get divorced.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah. And she'll get a lot of money. Yeah. And he'll get to see Barron on occasion
if
he wants to.
Care about seeing Barron.
What's that kid's name again?
He's not interested in Barron until he can be an earner. And then he talks to his kids. Ask any of his kids. He wasn't around for any of them until they got out of college. And then they could be earners.
And the Republicans applauded him wildly throughout the speech. The Utah delegation, they're just over the moon with how great that speech was. They loved him. Now, I'm not going to talk about them specifically because Chris Stewart is going to be a boner candidate.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was. Some Democrats apparently hissed during the State of the Union speech, and there were some few boos even.
Yes.
Like, boo.
During the immigration part.
It's kind of, boo. And there was also a guy there. Where did I put that story? A representative, an elected representative who said, now, the Democrats had brought, so the president will bring people, guests
Yes.
And the Democrats brought some guests, and they were DACA dreamers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a representative who said, I would like to see about, if it's possible, if we could have these people arrested at the State of the Union.
Yeah,
because
that'd look good.
Because they're illegal immigrants. So if we can have them arrested, I'd like to do that. Here it is. GOP Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona. There were about 30 young undocumented immigrants attending the State of the Union, and and Gosar said he contacted Capitol Police and Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yes.
And he said, "Can we check the identification of these people? And if they are illegal, have them arrested, please? Could we do that?"
Yeah.
This is an elected representative to the United States Congress.
This is just the GOP no longer doing it in silence anymore. You know, behind closed doors.
Yeah.
This is what they always have done and felt. They're just emboldened.
I'm going to have an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Gosar asked the police, the Capitol Police, to arrest any individuals who were using fraudulent Social Security numbers and identification to go to the State of the Union address.
All right. Sports, weather, traffic.
Lots of sports.
Well, yeah.
You're gonna have to start watching the Washington football team.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the colors are the same. Alex Smith traded to Washington. So, Carrie, Alex Smith, University of Utah, #1 draft pick,
quarterback,
very nice guy,
football,
smart guy,
guy.
Right. Okay.
Kansas City Chiefs traded him to the Washington football team.
They said you've never really been able to win the big game for us, Alex.
Well, the big game.
You've never been able to quite get us where we need to be. We're going to trade you to a team, and you can also help them not get to quite where they need to be.
Right.
And and the Jazz last night. I was wrong about the uniforms.
Yeah.
Apparently, they energized them or something, but they beat the Golden State Warriors, and they beat them handily.
Good.
129-99.
Once again, if Gina doesn't like something or she says it's wrong, you can be sure that it's right and you should like it.
Your climate change update, which we'll be addressing in a minute, by the way.
Yeah.
54 for a high. Traffic, we've got crash northbound I-15 approaching 72nd South in Midvale. The center lanes are blocked with a cargo truck and a car facing sideways. Traffic is quickly backing into Draper. That's the only incident so far this morning. That's traffic. Get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with Power Cashback credit card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org.
And Things That Must Go brought to you by?
Nope.
All right.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
All right, these are things that are really bugging you, things that you have sent to us via email in the hopes that if we read them on the air, then you can say, hey, that thing left my life. I wanted it to go, and now it's gone. Send them to radiofromhell@x96.com. Put must go in the subject line. And, let's see. I had one of my own. Oh, wobbly restaurant tables. Must go. I can't stand it. And sometimes they'll come and try and put a matchbook under the... I don't care what you have to do, get rid of those tables. I was at a restaurant the other day. I won't say what it was. The table wobbly. Okay, let's move. So we moved. That table wobbled. The next table wobbled,
Maybe
too.
you were wobbly.
No. Nope, sorry.
If you're at a restaurant with cloth napkins, I find if you put the cloth napkin under the table leg, that works, and then you ask for another napkin.
Oh, okay.
Well, the first table, it wouldn't have worked because it was the actual tabletop that was wobbly. Okay. And then the next one, it was the legs that were wobbly. Let's see. Here's a must-go from Sean. Frontrunner runs differently from all other commuting experiences. Driving, bus, or tracks. Trains run on the opposite side from what you're used to, like we're in England. For instance, southbound trains run on the east and northbound trains. Southbound trains run on the east and northbound trains run on the west.
It's like they're not the same way you drive.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's confusing. No,
well, you're not driving
not to
the
me.
train.
Yeah.
And counterintuitive until you get used to it. Every morning, the newbies are standing waiting for the train on the opposite side of the platform.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
It's people that are stupid that are doing that. I'm sorry,
Because
Sean.
there are signs that say
Yes.
But you can see where intuitively you might say, well, no, it's got to be going that way.
Then Sean should help the newbies. Help them have a better commuting experience.
Sean, reach out to the stupid.
Yes.
Let's see. Good morning, my radio lovelies. My must-gos have to deal with men's restrooms.
Yes.
Urinal dribblers.
Yeah.
What do you never go in there? What do you care? I
sounds
realize
gross.
this is America and your fashionable gut makes it difficult for you to reach down there, but take a half a step closer to the urinal, okay? And this is true. And sometimes it's sticky, which is also...
And it's on your shoes?
Yeah, on the shoe.
Yeah.
Let's see. The people that get up from the chair walk 20 yards across a level floor and are out of breath by the time they get to the bathroom must go. The amount of grunting in the bathroom must go. It could be amplified acoustics from tile walls, but tone it down, will you? And it took me 38 years to discover this thing. People that stand up to wipe their bottoms. This doesn't really affect me in any way other than it just kind of confuses me. How is this a better alternative to wiping while sitting? Keep up the good work, Brett.
How do you know if they're standing?
I think you can...
You're looking through the crack there, Brett?
I think you can sort of tell if you see their feet under the...
I think you just pay attention to what you're doing. And
yeah.
I just look straight ahead
I'm in
and
there,
try not to breathe.
I'm on business in there. I don't have time.
And that's it.
All right.
Okay, Carrie?
I got a couple of my own. The first one I encountered in Disney World. Now, when you're staying at a resort, they have buses that come and pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
Do they run east, west, or north, south?
And it's just there's a stop, and it says we're going to the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Whatever. And we're riding in to the Magic Kingdom, and the bus is quiet. It's early in the morning, and people are tired, and the bus is quiet. But there are these two meatheads having a sports ball conversation. And they don't need to be using their outside voices because the bus is quiet. Yeah, I think the problem is the quarterback. Nah, the defense is awful.
that's how they talk all the time.
And I wonder if that's the case.
I'm sure.
So I guess my must-go is people who don't have a concept of an inside voice. They're just loud all the time. Usually it's people in radio. I mean, I hear it here in the hallways all the time. People in radio who don't understand. They have a microphone in front of them.
Just
They
talk
don't
like a person.
need to yell. But anyway, so there's that. And then this one from my wife. She noticed this, and yes, again back to the Disney resorts. We went to Epcot.
Yeah.
And was able to get drinks there. We went to the Hollywood Studios and were able to get alcoholic beverages there as well. We then go to Magic Kingdom, and we find three places. Gaston's Tavern. Liberty
Can you dance on the table?
Liberty Tree Tavern. The Tortuga Tavern. I don't think you should be allowed to use the word tavern.
Oh, they don't sell.
Unless you serve alcoholic beverages.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? No
Yes.
liquor at a place called a tavern. Confusing.
Well, they were saying, and the movies they were drinking.
They
in
do.
jail.
Yes. No one drinks like Gaston. No one farts like Gaston. I don't know the words.
Something like that.
Something like that. But there you go. This one from Rob. One thing that must... I think he voiced to text this one. One thing that I feel must go... oh, Rob. Is public trash cans with lids that have springs that are so tight on them that you actually have to fight them to throw away your garbage.
I know.
I agree with that. Thank you, Rob. This one from Alan. Alan! I have lived in many states across the country, and nowhere is this a problem more prevalent than in Utah. I see more people driving at night or early in the morning with their lights off than I have in any other state. I don't know why this is. I do have a theory. I think it's due to the fact that certain cars have backlit dashboard gauges, and when you can see them all the time in the light or the dark, people in their heads don't turn on their lights because they can see the gauges, and they think, well, I don't need my lights must be on.
Yeah.
So be conscious of that. Thank you, Alan. Alan. This one from Brett. I'm only reading this because I don't understand.
Okay.
Anyone that lives in their dream home, why do you get a life so privileged?
I think this is just someone bitter.
Oh, Brett.
I got my dream
Most
home.
people don't live in their dream home. Most people
I'd like to
having-
live
Well,
in a
I-
home where I can dream.
I love my home.
But it's not your
Is
dream.
it your
But
home.
dream
it's
home?
not my dream home. There are a lot of. First of all, there's no ocean. You know, there are a lot of. Yeah, come on, Brett.
Yeah.
This is from Tony. I think I brought this up yesterday. My thing that must go: TV shows that feature amnesia as a plot device. Amnesia should not be allowed to be a plot device in a TV show anymore. I can't remember why I have all these tattoos. I don't know.
I don't remember you ever talking about this before.
We did on.
No, I can't. What? What's your name?
Let's see. Hey, Radio from Hell. I am a molder of young minds, a teacher, and as you can imagine, I have quite a few things that must go. Here's just a couple. Parents who are perfectly content with letting the S show of the teachers that don't get their way and throw a fit, and they take the kids' side over the teacher's side. Numerous excuses that come with the lack of homework, all code for I didn't do it, but can I still get credit? Just read your damn book. And finally, the show Once Upon a Time being on Netflix. It's not that great, but I'm sucked in and I watch too much of it. Geek Show says, hey, make mine a double. Jeannie, you seem like a great mom. Well, thanks. This from Katie. People who clip their nails at the office, not just an emergency hangnail, but your regular grooming.
I stopped doing that.
You did used to
when
do
you made.
that, yeah.
I've done it before, and you got on me about it.
Thank
so
you.
I quit.
People with window cubicles who keep their blinds closed all day. What's the point of having the window? Thanks for letting me listen, Katie.
You know what they're doing in there.
And finally, this from Jennifer. My must go is simple. The fact that the clouds are ruining my chance to see the cool astronomical effects of the moon today. I've seen many eclipses. They're all awesome, but I wanted to see this.
Well, go to x96.com/live during the commercials, and there will be a
live feed.
A live feed of the eclipse there.
All right.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
Crash northbound SR36 at Mills Junction. Cars are on the right shoulder, adding to delays from Stansbury Park.
Where's Mills Junction?
Stansbury, that's Tooele, I think.
Mills Junction?
Mills.
Oh, is it Mills or Meals?
Mills.
Oh, okay. I just wondered if you were mispronouncing it.
Did you think? No,
I'm
it's
just-
actually
I'm
Mills.
kidding you.
I
was
don't
trying to
feel
kid-
very well today.
I was trying to kid you, and you didn't pick up on it. So.
Crash northbound I-15 approaching 72nd South in Midvale. Center lanes blocked with a cargo truck and a car facing sideways. Traffic backing into Draper. That's traffic.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we're going to address this. We've been referring to the weather this past week or so as the climate change report. And
somebody's taking us to task on that.
I mean, well, they've been taking us to task ever since we started it with, passive aggressive texts and things like that. But this person is actually addressing it in a thoughtful manner,
a logical way.
So that's nice. Let's see, Black Velvet Boutique.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Oh yes.
Show your appreciation for your sexual partner or for yourself. Listen to their needs, encourage them to share what they desire. It will strengthen your relationship on many levels, including in the bedroom. And if you're solo this Valentine's Day, treat yourself to something special from Black Velvet Boutique. Learning what you like is the greatest present you can give yourself. Don't forget that learning what your partner likes is equally as important. After all, being confident in the bedroom is sexy. Knowledge helps you get your most confident, sexy self. Enjoy the best parts of being an adult with intimate toys and lingerie from Black Velvet Boutique. They're in Clearfield, 293 South State Street, or you can go to blackvelvetboutique.com.
This is very important.
X96 is your From Hell with Utah's most trusted newsman, Bill Allred on X96.
That's pretty good, but I think I like the original a little better.
A little.
Just a little.
Let's see now. Coming up, we got round one of your boner voting. Stand by for that. And after we award round one of the boner, let me speak to the lieutenant governor.
Spencer Cox will be here.
Our good friend Spencer Cox will be here. And I have a piece of advice for him I want to pass along when he gets here.
Okay.
So now we've been referring to our weather reports lately as a climate change update.
Because it's been really warm and we haven't had a lot of snow.
What are you talking about? Bill has broken out his January sandals. It's a tradition.
I'm wearing my flip-flops
His
right
January
now.
flip-flops.
Yeah.
It's a tradition
Done
going
it for
on
years.
30 years now, easily.
So I was unaware that we were getting pointed, angry texts about this.
Yes.
But people who say your liberal agenda and all that, that kind of thing?
All that. Yeah.
Well, we got an email from someone who approaches it from a different way and probably a correct way.
Okay.
This is the email came in and said, replacing weather with climate change must go.
Okay.
This is from the very nicely named, I think, someone named Nathan Blue. Oh, nice name. Nathan says, "Hello, Bill Allred. I am a disgruntled and disappointed listener from Weber State University. As you can tell from the subject line, I am not happy about the substitution of sports weather traffic with sports climate change traffic. Now, not to be misunderstood. I get the joke. But the weather is stranger than usual. We know this. And we can point toward a changing climate to explain why the weather is stranger than usual.
Okay.
But I'm disappointed that you're using the phrase in such a manner. Weather is not climate, not by a long shot. Weather is the current state of the atmosphere, while climate is measured averages of weather for a specific place over decades. By using the two interchangeably, you're actually helping and perpetuate the myth that weather is climate. Weather is not climate. It is just one small piece of evidence in the climate change picture, you see, the daily weather. The same myth that has infamously resulted in U.S. congressmen bringing snowballs onto the floor of the House and saying that this disproves that there's global warming.
Right.
I expect better of you at X96. I really do.
I don't know why.
My professors...
We're just winging it.
My professors are just as shocked and worried as I am. And they teach climate change. We spend a lot of time fighting people who take jokes like that literally and use it as ammo to spread unsubstantiated doubt in the sciences. Now, our recommendation is that you either work the word weather back into the statement related to climate change,
okay,
or just drop it all together and go back to sports weather traffic.
Okay.
Very respectfully, Nathan Blue.
So you said you had...
He makes a good point.
Yeah, I
agree with his point. So I would say, instead of a climate change update, we could say, and now it's time for the weather, which is just another piece of evidence that there is climate change.
It's kind of a long time.
Yeah, no, I had a better way to put it. And now
I'd like Nathan to help us.
Yeah, help us out a little bit, Nathan, if you can. But it's or anybody, if you want to weigh in, you could text us at 33986.
A clever, short way to express our displeasure
that this isn't normal.
And now here's another look at evidence that there is climate change. Now here's another look at evidence that climate change is real. Because it is. It's one little
our weather
piece of
today
evidence. Yeah.
Is another. It's got to be shorter. It's got to be shorter than that.
That's pretty. That's not bad though. I mean, it's and now another look. And now it's time for.
If you have an idea, you can.
How about sports weather traffic?
You can text it to us 33986, or you can email it to us radiofromhell@x96.com. But.
I could just say sports weather traffic, and when you do the weather, you could start with, "This is not normal."
Okay.
Remember, ever climate changing weather? Weather brought to you by climate change?
Climate change brought to you by today's weather.
It'd be weather brought to you by climate change, wouldn't it be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Weather
yes.
brought-
Yeah, it would. You're right.
Weather brought to you in part by Hook's Vision
The change in climate.
No,
and
it should be
climate
weather
change.
brought to you by climate change and Hoops Vision.
Okay, that's an easy way to do it.
Easy to
Maybe
do.
I'll try that. Because
because the weather
looking
is
at
a small piece of evidence that there is climate change.
looking at this week, we are 50s all week.
No sign of precipitation.
We are half of where we should be right now. Down south, it's even worse.
There is clear-cut evidence based on weather observations that climate change is happening, and not for the better. Oh, well, maybe for the better. There are people, somebody said to me at the gym the other day, isn't it beautiful weather? It's so nice out there. It's just beautiful.
It feels, anytime, like I told you the other day when there was a bee in my backyard while I was... There should not be bees out in January. That made me uncomfortable.
You know what else is going to happen here? Probably within the next few days, the fruit trees will start blossoming.
Yeah,
because it's a consistent warm pattern.
And they're not supposed to do that. And then we'll probably have some kind of a cold snap. And it'll kill them all. It'll kill all the fruit.
But I like
fruit. I think weather brought to you by climate change and Hoops Vision or whatever.
That's a quick, easy way to say it.
Weather brought to you by climate change and whoever the other sponsor is.
Yeah.
So now a quick look at sports weather traffic, and then when you do it, you'll say...
Weather is brought to you by...
No. Weather brought to you by...
In part by
climate change.
Okay.
Climate change and...
Okay, you guys will have to help me.
Okay.
Remember. I'll screw it up, I'm sure.
I've seen the pigeons downtown already starting their mating dances.
Really? Yeah, that doesn't happen until like March, April.
Wow.
Because I usually like to get in on that.
You strut around.
I'll get down there with the pigeons and kind of start shaking my tail feather.
Jay's cousin Josh says, "I'll bet that Nathan is just a riot at parties."
And listen, don't make fun of Nathan Blue.
No, he's a good friend of the program.
Nathan Blue has given us plenty to think about here,
true.
and
he made a good point.
Yeah, he made a good point, and I like that. I can tell that there is climate change happening, or that the weather is unnatural, because I don't usually. I get horrible dandruff at the change of seasons. At the change of seasons, and I've gotten my horrible dandruff early.
Early dandruff?
Yeah. Usually I wouldn't have dandruff like this until April.
That's my sign off today. By
Seasonal
the way.
dandruff.
Seasonal dandruff.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke, really. It's true.
What's your sign off?
Usually I wouldn't have this bad dandruff
until April.
Till April.
I wouldn't have the horrible dandruff until April.
Okay.
I can count on it.
We got round one of our boner voting coming up, and traffic. Who's first?
I can give you the boner candidates really quickly. Round one. Boner candidate number one. I was trying to catch one person, but I got a lot of others. Boner candidate number two. I got a list of Jews here, and it's this long.
Oh, I'm glad you found that one.
And boner candidate number three. My support animal is a peacock.
Crash 20th West 7th South in Syracuse. Crash northbound 7th East at 6 South in Salt Lake. We've got a crash northbound I-15 88 South. It's got the left lanes closed. That looks like that's causing some major slowage so far this morning. That's traffic.
All right. Thank you very much. So coming up, it's round one of your boner voting and big boy news and opinioendo. And then in about a half hour, let me speak to the Lieutenant Governor. Ranlife.com is the website.
Yes.
Bill, and of course, Gina on X96.
All right, 7:20 right now. Time for round one of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. And you'll decide of these 3, which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to face the winner of round 2. The 2 of them duke it out, and one of them becomes boner of the day in Boner Fight. Round 2 happens at 8:20. Boner Fight happens at 9:20. So 2 candidates now, then a 3rd candidate after the big boy news. Once you've heard all 3, then you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
Can't buy it, gotta win it. Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair. Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
All right, here's boner candidate number 1. I was just trying to catch one person, but I caught a lot of others. A Magna man sentenced to prison Monday for hiding cameras in bathrooms at LDS meeting houses and in the homes of his relatives.
Whoa! There he is.
James.
He looks like a creeper.
Stephen Larson. Jimmy Larson. Ordered to serve concurrent terms of up to 5 years in prison for 3 counts of voyeurism involving a minor victim. A minor. Larson pleaded guilty to the charges last month as part of a deal with prosecutors. Larson used a set of keys that he had to sneak in early on Sundays into 2 Magna LDS meeting houses. And according to prosecutors, Larson said he would hide cameras in the restrooms and then return and retrieve the cameras the next day. After searching 3 memory cards and 2 cameras found hidden in Larson's truck, investigators found 16 images of adults and children, according to the charging documents. Larson told police a family member was his target. But, you know, I also just kind of caught whoever happened to be there.
Well, how does it make it better that a family member was the target?
I don't know.
What was he looking for?
He also placed cameras in bathrooms while visiting in relatives' homes.
I think you have a problem, sir.
Yes, I think it's... I don't know why he felt compelled to say, I was trying to target one person, but that...
I accidentally got some other...
Yeah, I was trying to catch one person, but I got a lot of others on there. Boner candidate number 1.
Here's a text. Hey, damn it, we have enough problems out here in Magna. You don't need to mention where the guy was from. All right.
Sorry, Magnaites. Here's boner candidate number 2. I got a list of Jews here, and it's just long. A long list of Jews here.
Yeah.
Paul Nehlen is a Republican candidate for Congress who's running for... Listen, I'm sorry. He just happens to be a Republican, okay?
Why do you target the Republicans?
I don't.
Well, they make it easy.
This story just popped up. I'll talk about the drool on Joseph Kennedy's face coming up in a minute.
Must all be Republicans.
But he's this guy's running for the 1st Congressional District of Wisconsin. It's the seat currently held by Paul Ryan. So, you know, if...
He's not going to get it.
You know, if Paul Ryan...
And so this guy... He feels like Paul Ryan is not conservative enough.
So this guy has gone full fascist.
Yeah.
Courting support from the alt-right, both on Twitter DMs and in public.
Alt?
Because of the... Yeah, alt.
Sorry.
Yeah, alt.
Alt.
Alt-right. Yeah.
Yes.
Because of this, he's been engaged in an ongoing battle with conservative Republicans like the New York Post columnist John Podhoretz. In December, Nehlen told Podhoretz to eat a bullet. Later that same month, he was deemed too racist even for Breitbart.
That tells you something.
Whoa!
Which said it had cut all ties with him and removed his contributor page from the website after a series of anti-Semitic and pro-white supremacist comments. Well, yesterday, Nehlen tweeted this. While it may seem at first glance that making a list of your enemies in an Excel spreadsheet and including a tally of their religions and ethnic backgrounds is a completely normal and level-headed thing to do, I can assure you that it's not. Oh, that isn't Nehlen speaking. That's somebody else.
No, that's someone who's talking about what this guy did.
I mean, Carrie, you have a list of enemies, but you don't mention their religions.
No.
It's just the...
It's just a list of enemies.
You don't know what their religion is.
I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter what religion you are. You can still be an asshat.
Exactly.
But Mr. Nehlen tweeted out this list of names who said he was enemies, and he said, I will have you note that many of them are Jews.
All but 7.
Then he went on to say, why do we need Muslims in this country? It's just
My
stunning.
brain hurts.
Yeah, he's courting the alt-right.
But the thing that makes me crazy, though, is there are people that will hear that and go, you're damn right.
Oh, yeah, there are.
Somebody's finally speaking the truth.
And those are people who ordinarily wouldn't say, yeah, you're right out loud.
But it's okay now.
But it's okay now.
It all started with Nixon's Southern strategy, but we don't have time to go into that. Hashtag America First. 81 people, 74 of them are Jews, he said. Boner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. My support animal is a peacock.
All right.
I need that one.
You do. Boner candidate number 3 for
Give me
round
silly.
round 1 coming up after this here Big Boy News and Innuendo brought to you by
Board game lovers, Haster Games has what you need. Pokemon Ultra Prism is available for pre-orders with a February 2nd release. Star Wars Legion is coming soon. Need Valentine's Day gifts. Board games last longer than chocolate. Learn more at hastergames.com.
Well, they don't last longer than chocolate in my house because we eat board games. But
you shouldn't do that.
I know, but it's kind of a nasty habit we've gotten into. Listen, here's a story for you, Gina. You ever had an MRI?
Mm-hmm. When I had my concussion.
Oh, yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Freak accident involving an MRI that killed a man in a hospital in India. Details are harrowing. Rajesh Maru had been in the MRI room with a female relative who was preparing to undergo a scan. The fatal mistake, he was holding the woman's metal oxygen canister.
Nope.
Now, because MRI machines use powerful magnets, no metal objects can be in the room.
No, they ask if you have any metal in your mouth or any little tiny bit.
I have to take out my earrings and all of that. No metal object should be in the room when the MRI is powered up. Well, Mr. Maru was holding this metal oxygen canister, and it was powered up, and that police say that Maru was sucked toward the cylinder, and the arm holding the oxygen canister became trapped, and then by some accounts mangled. As attendants furiously tried to free him, Mr. Maru inhaled lethal amounts of liquid oxygen that had begun leaking from the canister that he'd been holding. Police have launched an investigation of death by negligence against a doctor and 2 staffers who allowed him in there with this metal oxygen canister. His family is outraged at what they perceive to be the hospital shirking responsibility, and they complain that nobody stopped Maru from entering with the oxygen.
Yeah. I remember not ever being alone, and that they ask you more than once about the metal stuff.
About metal in your, even in your body. It's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes.
Sucked into the MRI machine, mangled his arm, he can't get loose, and then liquid oxygen starts flowing, and there you go. Let's see. So the House here in Utah, a bill offering up IUDs and other family planning assistance to women through Medicaid, passed the House yesterday, despite a concern raised that it was an effort to prevent low-income women from having children.
No, it's to give them an option to not have children if they don't want to.
There are some people who view measures like this as racist. The sponsor of House Bill 12, Ray Ward of Bountiful, said Utah is one of only 7 states that doesn't cover long-acting reversible birth control like intrauterine devices that come with a high upfront cost but ultimately result in savings. Ward said that other states have seen declines in Medicaid enrollment and other assistance programs when families are able to plan when to have children.
Thank you.
Amen.
Also, you see a drop in abortions.
Yes.
So this is
if you are pro-life, you should be pro-birth control.
This is a conservative Republican in the Utah House who has finally seen the light.
Wow.
The bill spells out that family planning does not include abortions. Now, still not, we don't want those.
They're not going to go that far.
It would require the state to spend $800,000 to receive a $5.1 million federal match when fully implemented under Medicaid. Several lawmakers praised the bill, but, and you can always count on this guy, Norm Thurston, Republican, Provo, compared it to what he called a disturbing and very dark period of American history.
What?
when women were subjected to government sterilization programs.
No.
They don't have to do it.
It's not the
Most
same.
women
Listen.
would tell you, yes, I would rather never
Ma'am.
become pregnant at all than have to
Ma'am.
have an abortion. So
Ma'am.
help me
Ma'am.
have birth control.
Ma'am, your shrill voice, trying to talk over me is not helping. I'm telling you,
He
ma'am.
really made that comparison.
Sir.
He really.
Sir.
How can you possibly make that stretch? That is
Sir,
a leap.
Allow me to explain. If your shrill liberal voices would just quiet for a
Nobody's
moment.
making them
Explain.
take birth control.
Explain.
They're making it
Could it-
available.
You have repeated yourself constantly, ma'am, in that liberal way that you do.
Explain.
Now let me explain.
All right.
In the spirit of Representative Norm Thurston.
Okay.
The policy set forth in this bill has only one goal, and that is to prevent low-income women from having babies.
Yes.
And it reinforces the idea that babies hold families back.
No.
Don't start with your shrill voices. Let me have my turn. Or I'll go to another radio program.
Well,
I'll go out there to AM 630 where they're throwing raw meat out there all the time.
Okay.
Now, there are already affordable birth control methods available to the low-income people, including abstinence.
That's available.
That's low income.
That is
and
available.
and it's very affordable. You cannot deny that, and don't you try in your shrill liberal
No,
voice.
you're sex shaming people,
Please,
but go ahead.
Please. There are those things, I think they're called condoms. And drug companies also offer access to birth control to low-income women at a reduced cost. Okay?
But you see, these last.
You see how you're never going to see it.
No, you see, these devices last about 10 years.
IUDs are awesome.
Yeah, they
They're
last about
actually
10 years.
Gina has a bumper sticker that says that IUDs are awesome.
They are the
All right, let's move on.
economical way to
Donald
go
Trump.
about it.
Donald Trump, State of the Union. Now, I didn't explain this very well. Now, we should talk a little bit about what he said in the State of the Union and how much of it was true and how much of it was BS.
Well,
there was a certain amount of stuff in the State of the Union that was just completely untrue.
Yeah.
And a lot of different websites and papers and factcheck.org go through these. And so just a few of them. He said, Donald Trump in the State of the Union said, since the election, we've created 2.4 million new jobs, including 200,000 new jobs in manufacturing alone. The math is correct, but the context matters. And he doesn't do that.
No.
The economy has added about 169,000 jobs a month since the election, but that's somewhat less than the 185,000 jobs a month that the economy added over the previous 7 years. So we added a lot more jobs over the previous 7 years than we have added.
Okay.
African-American unemployment stands at its lowest rate ever recorded. True, but it needs context.
Yes.
Black unemployment rate in December, 6.8%, was the lowest recorded. But it's also the culmination of a longer-term trend. It's an open question how much credit a president, any president, but especially in his first year, can take for this.
Well, when he was running, he was talking about how black unemployment was high, which was just a blatant lie. And now he's taking credit for what has been happening for 6 to 8 years.
After years of wage stagnation, we're finally seeing rising wages. Not true.
No.
Wages are rising, but at a slower rate than they were at the end of Obama's second term. There are more. He talks about, this is a good one. Apple has announced it plans to invest a total of $350 billion in America and hire another 20,000 workers. He's said this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So Apple did say after the tax cut passed that it would invest $350 billion domestically over the next 5 years. But at least $275 billion of that was simply continuing their past spending trends. They've been doing that. That's the way they've been investing in America all along. The actual amount of new investment appears to be about $37 million, not billions and billions of dollars. There are many other things, like their clean, beautiful coal.
Yeah.
Very misleading comments about that. Chrysler is moving a major plant from Mexico to Michigan, he said. Chrysler did announce that it would move production of heavy-duty pickup trucks from Saltillo, Mexico, to a plant in Michigan. But they're going to keep that plant in Mexico still running still producing other things for them, and also other plants in Mexico will also continue operations. So they're not shutting down their plants in Mexico and moving them back here. They're just moving part of one of those plants here. Now, and I also talked about what Donald Trump asked the Congress to do that was so disturbing to a lot of people, and I didn't describe it very well, but here, this does.
Okay.
Trump's speech was also deeply dangerous for an even more important reason. Under the cover of his soothing rhetoric about unity and bipartisanship, he called on Congress, so you asked how this would have to happen.
Yeah.
He called on Congress to give him unprecedented and unquestionably anti-democratic powers. Tonight, he said, I call on the Congress to empower every cabinet secretary with the authority to reward good workers and to remove federal employees who undermine the public trust or fail the American people. By design, it's easy to overlook the significance of the second half of that phrase, but think about it for a second. Imagine what that would actually look like in practice. Under Trump's proposal, any cabinet secretary could decide that, say, a law enforcement official investigating the president had undermined public trust or failed the American people. And that cabinet secretary, appointed by that president, could just fire him on the spot. Wouldn't have to have anybody say so or just fire him.
Let me just translate that for you. All right? Yeah. There you go.
So he's calling for an end to any semblance of independence for the IRS, the FBI, the Department of Justice, or any other federal agency. Okay?
All right. Sports, weather, traffic. Or no, just weather, traffic.
Okay, let me see if I got this.
Okay.
Weather brought to you in part by climate change. And
thank you.
Get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with the Power Cashback credit card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org. And it will be warm again today, 54 for a high. It's going to be that way through the rest of the week, which means the air is going to get pretty gunky by Friday, Saturday. And we'll be in the 50s, and the birds are chirping, and the bees are out, and Bill's wearing flip-flops.
All right.
Traffic, we got a minor fender bender southbound I-15 approaching the US 89 split in Farmington. Cars are on the left shoulder, and we've got some slowage in the area due to that. Let's see what else we've got going on. Main Street and Nicholas Road in Kaysville, there's a crash there. We've got a crash northbound 7th East, 6 South in Salt Lake. And a crash northbound I-15, 88th South. Left lanes are closed there. That's traffic.
All right, we'll go to boner candidate number 3. And by the way, those of you who are saying, well, Congress will never pass that, what Trump was calling for.
Oh?
Well, they probably won't. But but the fact that he asked for that should be pretty telling. Boner candidate number 3, my support animal is a peacock. A woman traveling recently was banned from taking her large emotional support peacock on board an airline's flight.
It's enormous.
Yeah, it is.
And
looks like a lovely animal.
This has gotten out of control.
She had offered to buy the bird its own plane ticket, according to travel blog Live and Let Fly. Nevertheless, the airline refused to let the bird board at Newark Airport in New Jersey, saying, I'm sorry, this is not meeting guidelines because it's big. It's too big. United Airlines was the airline in question. They said they explained this to the traveler before she ever came to Newark with the peacock, but she showed up anyway with the striking bird. And there is a picture of it sitting on an airport baggage trolley as fellow passengers gaze on.
She had a glamour shot taken with it. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't.
Look at that.
There it is. Now, x96.com/live. There's the peacock.
That's a peacock in the airport on a smart cart.
Yeah. He looks to be, or she, he. It's a he. That's males that are that.
Yeah.
He looks to be well behaved. His name is Dexter. He's a rescue pet of the Brooklyn-based artist Ventico, who documents the animal's life on social media. So my guess is this is something of an art project as well.
I gotta find the pic. She really did. She had a glamour shot where she's topless. Ooh. And the peacock's face is kind of covering up. I gotta find it, Dylan, so you can have it.
Yeah, I really want. I'd like that for my personal collection. You know where if they did let it on, if they let the peacock on the plane, you know where it'd have to ride though. In the in
Don't.
the cockpit.
Don't. He did it anyway.
Okay, boner candidate number 3. My support animal is a peacock.
All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. Listen, I was just trying to kind of catch one person. I got a lot of others on there. That was what a Magna man said when he was ordered to prison for hiding cameras and recording people in bathrooms at LDS meeting houses and at relatives' homes. Boner candidate number 2. Listen, I got a list of Jews here, and it's really long. A Republican congressional candidate in Wisconsin who says, people are out to get me. These are all my enemies right here. And if you'll look, I've documented their religions. Most of them are Jews. And boner candidate number 3, my support animal is a peacock.
All right. You got to decide which one of these 3 is the worst. Which one of these 3 needs to go forward to boner fight and get a 50-50 chance to be boner of the day. Pick 1, 2, or 3. Put the candidate number you think should win in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. You can go to 877-602-9696 and speak your vote. Or x96.com. Look for the box that says January 31 boner voting and vote there. But do it quickly. You've got less than 300 seconds. Let's go. It's round 1.
The music.
time to award round 1 of your boner voting.
And as soon as we do that, we will be speaking with Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox. Spencer J. Cox? Spencer J. Cox. And we will, and you can call him too and ask him what's going on. What's going on up there in the legislature? 877-602-9696. But the winner of this round of the boner voting is brought to you in part by...
Totally.
It's brought to you totally by... I have not done this for a long time, and I forget what a pain in the ass it is to do. I made a salad niçoise.
Tuna salad?
Yeah.
You made a tuna salad.
It's a pain to do. There's a lot of different ingredients
but is it delicious?
Yeah, except I forgot to I cooked the potatoes, I soaked them in vermouth, and then I forgot to put them in the damn salad.
Now what are you going to do with your vermouthy potatoes?
I'll eat them.
Okay.
All right. So we had boner candidate number 1. I was trying to catch one person, and look, there were more caught on this day. It's this guy out in Magna who was he says he was trying to tape a relative.
Which I don't know how that makes any of this better.
No. He was taping people in the bathrooms, videotaping them, bathrooms at LDS meeting houses. Boner candidate number 2. Listen, I got a list of Jews here. These are my enemies, and you look at it. They're all Jews. Almost all of them Jews. This is a guy actually running for Congress. I think he's out now, but he's been running for Congress in Wisconsin. And boner candidate number 3, my support animal is a peacock. This is a woman who is trying to get her support peacock. Not a peahen. Maybe she could have gotten a peahen.
They're smaller.
There they are, but this is a peacock. She couldn't. The airline said, no, I'm sorry, you cannot bring your support animal on the plane.
I found her glamour shot she had taken with the peacock, and Dylan said, no, I'm not putting that up.
Why?
He doesn't nix anything, but
why?
It was provocative.
Oh, come on. It's not like we're broadcasting on Channel 5.
Yeah.
It's to people's computers. All right, so we had a Charlie won the boner T-shirt, and the winner of the boner vote is very, very close, even voting, but number 2. I've got a list of Jews here, and it's this long. Yes.
Okay. That is now qualified to be boner of the day. It's not boner of the day yet. It has to go through candidate number 2 for round 2. Right. If that makes any sense at all. Sure. Round 2 coming up at 8:20. Then we stick them both into Boner Dome for Boner Fight at 9:20.
All right. Now, this is your chance to speak to the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Utah, Spencer J. Cox. He is here in studio live with us. Always a pleasure to see you.
It's great to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah. 877-602-9696 is the number. You can ask him any question about what's going on in the legislature or about his future plans.
Well, and he was governor for an hour.
I was governor for an hour.
Is that really...
I thought we'd have a better reception for me. I'm a little disappointed, guys.
Now, is that really... I know it's true with the president and the vice president of the United States.
Right.
Is it so with the states, really? You did have to kind of...
Really, yeah. It's in the Constitution. We had to send a declaration to the Chief Justice of the Utah Supreme Court stating that at such and such a time the governor would be relinquishing all of his power to go under anesthesia, and so it ended up being about 2 hours. It took a little longer than we expected.
So you could have called. I was expecting you to call out the National Guard and declare martial law.
Look, we took some liberties. We had some fun, but I tried not to push it too far. But yeah, for 2 hours.
I enjoyed your Twitter feed during that time.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, if Greg Hughes had been the lieutenant governor, martial law would have been declared.
I think that's true. I think Greg would admit to that.
You really should follow Spencer Cox on Twitter.
Spencer J. Cox.
He is very funny, but it's also a good place, especially during this time. You're pretty good at keeping people updated on what's going on.
Yeah, it's a busy time of year.
So we'll take some phone calls here, but I have just two things, personal things. First of all, you look fantastic.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Isn't that a great suit?
I agree.
It's beautiful. It's got a good cut. You can tell it's kind of new.
You're very kind.
And
I ordered it online.
It's a blue. What color was it described as online?
I don't know. I come from the Crayola 8, so blue was that. Yeah, that's all I got. My wife will tell you it was something else.
Now I have just one other bit of advice for you.
Yes.
If you are seriously thinking of running for governor,
right,
and there are those thoughts about, I would urge you to disassociate yourself from this program.
That's the best advice I've gotten in years.
You'll never get elected if you're a regular on this show.
If you are serious about running for governor,
we will only hurt you, sir.
I would say, no. I went on that show once or twice, I think, but I don't remember much about it.
Duly noted. Can we also destroy all the podcasts?
Yes.
Yeah,
we can do that.
We can
over the last 5 years. I think it's been 5 years.
Has it really been that long?
It's been 5 years since I've been coming on.
So anyway, somebody's here who wants to. I'm thinking who wants to harangue you a little bit.
Oh, good. Good.
Let's see.
All right, that never happens on this show.
Take a look here. This is Jason. Hello, Jason. Speak to the Lieutenant Governor.
Hey, Jason.
How you guys doing?
Good. Go ahead.
Hey, so I was curious. I had a few ideas for doing something to replace the outdoor retailer, and I was wondering if you guys had any proposals that you've accepted or anything like that.
Well, so those proposals that come go directly to the Salt Lake County and Salt Lake City who run the convention bureau there. So we have had lots of suggestions, and we have a lot of people coming, but we're always open to ideas.
Yeah. What is your? Well, you probably don't want to say what your idea is, Jason. Somebody might steal it.
And you're welcome to send it to us.
So I thought Jason was going to call in and say, so the outdoor retailer just had their convention, for the first time in Denver. Are you happy? Are you proud of yourself? Are you?
I don't know that those are the words that I would use.
Are you glad to see that happen?
No, we're very sad that they're not here, and feel bad that they have left the state. But we are soldiering on.
Okay, we'll make it somehow without them.
We will.
So Jason, do you think you have a good idea? Go to the Salt Lake County and City Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Jason.
Well, that's it. That's the only call. So.
All right. It's been a great day, guys. I'm out of here.
It's been a while.
You want to talk jazz?
Hey, we can always talk jazz.
Did you go to the game last
So
night?
I had an event I had to speak at, and so I didn't get there until about halftime. But yeah, I did see.
So how do the new uniforms look?
Spectacular. It was with the new floor, delicate arch, prominently displayed there, and we beat the world champs by 30 points. So
nice.
Great night all around.
So you say that I have not been in the new Vivint. You say the delicate art, is it on the floor?
So with these new uniforms, there will be, I think, 5 games this year where they use the new floor and the new uniforms together. So they have 2 different floors actually, and the new floor, the one they used last night, has the delicate arch kind of right in the middle of the floor, painted on the floor, just beautiful, and the uniforms kind of represent southern Utah, the layers and the rock and sunsets, and a lot of imagery there.
I think it's
amazing.
It's well, you're not supposed to walk on the delicate arch. You remember when
or swing from it.
Remember though in high school, in the gym, and there would always be your high school symbol in the middle of the floor.
middle of the floor, yeah. And you don't want to disrespect it.
Yeah, and you were not supposed to walk on that.
Yeah.
I found that out the hard way the first time I went to high school. Don't step on the bedwoman, Scott. What are you doing?
So we're still taking calls, 877-602-9696, if you would like to speak to Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox.
We've got some texts and chat room questions if we don't get calls, so we're good.
Still spearheading helping spearhead the homeless initiative, the Rio Grande initiative. And we'll talk
suicide
about
prevention.
Suicide prevention is a big
wheelhouse.
deal, and whatever else is going on, big stuff at the legislature this time.
All right.
Crash northbound I-15 approaching 2100 North, exit in Lehigh. The HOV and left shoulder are blocked, causing delays into American Fork. Crash southbound I-15 approaching the US 89 split in Farmington. Cars are on the left shoulder there, slowing traffic in that area. And still slowage due to that earlier crash northbound I-15 about 80th South. And there's still slowage in that area. That's traffic.
All right. Thank you very much. More with the Lieutenant Governor coming up. KXRK Provo.
Hi, I'm Bill Allred, and on this week's Let's Go Eat show, I chat with Jimmy Martin. Yes, the Jimmy Martin. First and foremost, he is a panelist on thegeekshowpodcast.com, but he's also a film reviewer for KSL TV, and he hobnobs with stars. You'll find out all about it if you listen in on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever fine podcasts are sold. It's the Let's Go Eat Show.com.
Glamour.
I'm with Matt from the Advocates Injury Law Firm, and I've met a bunch of
Mary
people
Claire.
with the Advocates, and to me, it really seems like you just naturally want to help people.
Help
Yeah, I hope
tips in
so.
there on how to,
I remember once when Rebecca at my office came to me and
They
said,
had an article
you know, one of our
about
clients has been unable to
tips
leave
on
work to take his car in, get
using
an estimate.
weed
And
at
she said,
Using
I
weed
just
at
took a
parties.
coworker up with
Is
me,
it
took his
it-
car
like
to the shop
etiquette- this
for
is
him.
weed
I hope that's
etiquette.
okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember thinking to myself,
is it
"Are you
proper
kidding me?
etiquette
That's
to,
exactly what we should
bring
be doing
weed
to
as a
help out our
hostess
clients.
gift?
You know, going the
Depends on
extra
whose
mile,
party
and
you're
looking
going
for
to.
ways
But
to
I
help
mean,
others.
this is an art.
That's exactly
They
what an
wrote it
advocate
just
does.
like,
You guys are
do you
awesome.
bring a bottle
When
of
you call the
wine
advocates,
to-
you get answers
to your
fast.
hostess?
You'll be speaking
if
to
you-
an
if you
actual
bring
attorney
weed,
within seconds,
how do
anytime,
you go
day
about,
or night,
do
24/7.
you smoke
If you
it
need help,
inside? Do you go
call
out
the
on the
advocates
porch? Do
at
you
801-355-5550.
If somebody else has brought it,
or
what's
visit
the
them
proper way
online,
to ask?
UtahAdvocates.com.
Are these articles
There are
written
lots of
for
lawyers.
people who have
You
no
deserve
common
an
sense?
advocate.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that-
the point is that the point is exactly what the point that Drop's making is.
Is that back in the 50s, it was, yeah,
And now
you'll
it's
go
like,
on a killing spree, and now it's don't smoke
now
in the park. Yeah.
or don't smoke in the house, take it outside.
Mm-hmm.
And this is alongside pictures of women in black cocktail dress. They're not hippies with dreadlocks. It's your typical cocktail party.
Which is ridiculous.
You don't think people in black
I don't
evening
think so.
gowns
No.
are smoking?
No, I resent the fact that the middle class and the upper class has co-opted marijuana. It should be just the hippies, the patchouli oil wearing, dreadlocked hippies, the tie-dye crowd.
It was just interesting that it was just presented in a.
Yeah, but the way you describe the article too, it's just I'm still fixated on the fact that it's apparently written for morons.
Well, that
it's just like what?
But the type of people that read those kind of magazines
Are morons?
Maybe haven't encountered that before. I don't know.
Have not encountered common sense.
Well, the point is, the word I will take from you is common. It is now common. That's why it's appearing in magazines.
No, I see. I get that. That's an interesting part of it. But if it were about booze, it would also be for idiots.
Mm-hmm.
It's an article for an idiot.
God, they're not. Why does this make you? I just thought it was interesting. It wasn't the New Yorker. It's a dumb woman's magazine.
Yeah, I know. It's I
get makeup tips out of it. That's what I'm going to that magazine for, not an in-depth article on pot etiquette.
if you would like to speak to the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Utah, Spencer J. Cox, he will not shy away from any question. You can be mean to him if you want.
It's true.
Yeah.
And most people are. So
Or
don't hold back.
Or you can thank him or compliment him. It's okay.
Well, where's the fun in that?
Look, guys, if coming on this show means I can't be governor, then I don't think I want to be governor.
Oh,
let's
you heard it
just
here.
put it-
Have you now? You have not really said that you're going to run. have you?
No. What I said was, and I didn't know there were reporters in the room, but since there were, I was in a small meeting in St. George when this came up, and what I said was a year ago, my wife and I talked about it. We were probably 80-20 no. That
80-20 no.
Yeah, that we likely wouldn't run, and that's reversed over the past year. It's
So you're saying there's a
so
chance?
there's a chance, yeah, pretty good chance.
And you, I think I heard you say that you've not only talked to your wife about it, you've talked to the Lord about it.
Did I say that?
Well, you've prayed about it.
Well, we do. Yeah, that's something we do all the time, and that will be part of the final decision, when the time comes. But it's still way too early. I mean, 2020 is a long ways away. We don't even know who's running for the Senate, for Hatch's seat right now.
Oh, sure
we do.
Do we? You guys know? Do you have insider information?
I'm
Come on
absolutely,
now.
I'm absolutely sure that it's going to be a Romney of some sort.
A Romney.
It's a
Tug? No.
Might be Tug Romney.
Actually, it's Chunt.
Chunt Romney.
Chunt Romney is.
Wasn't there an episode of New Girl where we need to look that up, where he pretended to be a Romney son?
Oh, okay.
No, there is. You should find
look.
it. It was. I shouldn't know that.
Now, see, we went from no calls to the lieutenant governor breaking the phone.
Oh no.
Because I see there are calls there.
But they're, according to the producer's booth, it's saying that people are online when they aren't.
We literally broke the phone.
They only have confidence in line 2. Oh, it seems to be working now. Let's go to line 2. Well, it's not letting me go to line 2. No, the phones are in fact broke.
Wow, that's what happens when everyone gets excited to talk to the lieutenant governor.
I am unable to take calls.
Great.
Both of my buttons are broke.
Because Will wanted to talk about medical
I do have a bigger button,
true.
Carrie.
That's true.
Let's talk about medical marijuana here in the state of Utah. Then,
Sure.
Because Will wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the topic we get the most often on this station. It is, yeah. I think every time we get a caller. So there are a couple bills out there. One of those is kind of a right to try bill. Those facing end of life type diseases would be able to use medical marijuana. So that bill is moving forward. But I think more interestingly to people, we have several ballot initiatives that are going forward, and one of those is a medical marijuana initiative. And if they get the requisite amount of signatures, about 113,000 registered voters by April 15th, and by all indications, they are going to get the amount of signatures.
So it would go on the ballot?
It will go on the ballot in November,
which would say what? We believe, yes or no, Utah should have medical marijuana?
Correct, yeah. Basically, it's a statute, a medical marijuana statute, that then becomes law without the legislature approving it. The people get to vote on that. Do you then have to do it? Does the legislature have to do it? Well, they do. They could always repeal it. It's like any other law. So the legislature could pass a law this session and repeal it next session. So they could always go back and repeal it. Historically, I will say that it is not likely. We have had ballot initiatives in the past that have not been undone by the legislature. Now, they will usually have to go in and fix some things because ballot initiatives aren't perfect and they don't fit within the framework, so they'll have to go in and make some adjustments to it. But that's moving forward, and we've seen the polling on it. It's pretty divided right now, but I think a slight majority have said they support it. So we'll see what happens in November, if assuming it gets on the ballot.
That's it. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
what about this bill that we were talking about earlier with the IUDs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's
sure.
That.
Yeah.
I thought that was really remarkable. Of who is the sponsor of that?
Ray Ward out of Bountiful, I believe, who is a medical doctor.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's a medical doctor.
Correct.
This seems too reasonable. I'm suspicious that there's something in here.
Don't be.
Okay.
Don't be suspicious.
People have seen the light
legit.
apparently, except for Norm Thurston.
Let's remind people what it is.
It would provide on Medicaid. Utah would put up a 8.7 million, was it? Or?
Yeah. I think it would be about 800,000 from Utah.
Oh, 800,000.
The federal match would be around 5 million, 5 and change.
And then low-income women could get. I assume they'd have to apply for them. IUDs.
Right. If they have Medicaid, this would be just an addition to their Medicaid now. So they could go to their doctor and they could get an IUD. So they would have birth control, family planning for 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, however long.
And the Mr. Ward, Dr. Ward, the sponsor of this, said this would help defer. Costs would go down.
Correct.
It would reduce the number of abortions.
Yes.
It's like he's seen the light. Republicans on the Hill have apparently seen the light about this.
Birth control. If you're pro-life, you should be pro-birth control.
Yeah. No, it's a great bill. It's something I talked to Representative Ward about, and actually something he presented during the interim on during committees, and was favorably received, and makes almost too much sense, right?
That's why I'm suspicious. There's got to be something wrong with it. I don't know.
It's something that conservatives and liberals both should be able to get behind.
Not Norm Thurston.
Not Norm.
Not everybody, but
Let's we try Laura.
Let's
there?
try Laura.
Okay.
We think the phone might be fixed because Dave came in and reset it all.
Thanks, Dave.
Let's see. Are you there, Laura?
I am. Can you hear me?
There we go. Thank you. I think we're fixed. Okay.
Laura, go ahead. Talk to Lieutenant Governor.
Hi, Lieutenant Governor. My question is about suicide prevention. You mentioned that's one of the things that you want to sponsor and get out there. And my thought first is that I think when we talk about suicide prevention, there are two populations we need to think about. The first one is there are people who just don't know where the resources are and don't know who to turn to in a moment of crisis. But I also, the people I know who I've lost to suicide, a lot of them actually did have a lot of resources and did have a lot of family support, but the resources that were available weren't sufficient and weren't adequate. And they lost their life due to suicide because the resources that are available aren't appropriate.
Yeah.
So is there a question there?
I think she's just.
So I guess my question is, what do you have any? My question is, what do you?
What's the plan
to do to increase? Services.
No, thank you, Laura.
Exist, make them more appropriate.
Yep. Great question and very appropriate. So we held a press conference a few weeks ago, and the governor asked me and Representative Steve Elison to head up a task force. It's a multifaceted task force, incredible people on there, people that haven't been talking about this together. We've got Gail Miller, IHC's on there, Troy Williams with Equality Utah, one of the 12 apostles from the LDS Church, again in the same room talking about these issues. And what we're going to do is we're going to be reviewing everything we're doing in the state right now, using the best practices, evidence-based principles to decide what works best and what doesn't, so that we can use the existing funding in a much more efficient way. We also have several bills right now that Representative Elison has sponsored to get to that first group you talked about, those who don't know the resources that are available. In far too many of our counties, if you call the mental health crisis line, you get a recording or you get sent to voicemail.
That's not okay.
But we just passed something on that.
We
right?
did. It hasn't passed the full legislature. It
Mm-hmm.
passed the House. It's headed to the Senate, and we have additional dollars available to fix that. The Safe UT app, which everyone should have on their phone,
it's good,
is a huge deal. We're rolling that out right now and trying to get additional funding to roll it out to college campuses as well. So really big deal.
Let's go to Jake real quickly here. Jake, you wanted to talk about the surrogacy laws. I know that's a thing that's happening right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so
Jake.
I just have a question regarding that. It seems that this bill is going to be there to protect the actual surrogate mother, so that she has rights to that child, even though she might not be biologically the egg donor, obviously not the sperm donor. I'm just curious what this bill is actually in place to protect.
Yeah, what's the point?
So that's a good question, and I have to admit there are 1,200 bill files open right now, and this is one I'm not aware of yet, but I will.
It was something along the lines of, and again, I just read it briefly. Something along the lines of is that if the host mother
The oven?
The oven. If the oven wanted to claim the baby back, that she could.
Even though there's no DNA.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that. That's got to be that can't be right. And if it does, it'll be tough to pass. This is maybe on a little bit of a personal note, something very important to my family. A lot of people don't know this, but my wife was a gestational carrier for my sister, for her sister-in-law. So she was the oven for
their little bun.
Their little bun.
What's the little bun's name?
His name is Lawson, and he's 7 years old now.
7 years ago, Abby did this.
Yeah, and he's
your
incredible.
wife is. I mean, we like you and all, but your wife's
way much better.
I get that a lot, and quite frankly, I feel the same way.
She is terrific.
She is amazing.
If Spencer Cox has told the story on the Let's Go Eat show, go to the letsgoeatshow.com. Spencer Cox tells the whole story of how that happened, and your wife is really remarkable for doing that for your sister.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, and so I will pay attention to this.
Would you look into that?
I will, for sure.
Because we're going to start having you at once a week now?
Once a week, yeah, I think.
While the
We'll be back next
legislature
week.
is in session. And what has happened, I've seen, is that because this is his first visit, we had nothing, and then suddenly we're slammed with questions. So y'all got to get ready for next week.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah,
next Wednesday. Yeah.
7:45. Start lining up as soon as we award the boner. Probably will be the time to start lining up. So that way you can get your question in. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed.
And yes, this is the theme song for Benson.
May he rest in peace.
Yes. The lieutenant governor of, was it Georgia?
I don't remember the
I think
state.
it was
actually.
Georgia.
That makes sense.
I think
Started
it was
out as the
Georgia.
butler and
Became
worked his way.
sort of like
way
you.
up. A lot like me.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks, guys. See
From
you next week.
Farm boy to lieutenant governor.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got a crash northbound I-15 at milepost 281 in Lehigh. The HOV lane is closed. We've got a crash 5600 west, 47th south in West Valley. Crash northbound I-15 at 125th south. Crash eastbound 78 south at Mountain View, West Jordan. And crash southbound I-15 at Shepherd Lane in Davis County. Stop buying disposable office printers off the shelf at that big box store. Get the highest quality commercial grade printers from Valley Office Systems for a whole lot less than you'd expect. ValleyOfficeSystems.com.
All right, we've got boners round 2 coming up. Here are the candidates. Boner candidate number 1. I was fondling my candy, not myself. Boner candidate number 2, Katie. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And boner candidate number 3, I am the mayor of Farmington, and my word shall be law.
All right, all those and big boy news coming up. Stand by in the next break. First, we got to tell you about, let's see, Hoops Vision.
That boner candidate number 1. If the people had better eyesight, that boner would never have happened.
Really?
Yeah. If you want to get your, if you wear glasses or you wear contact lenses or you have cataracts,
yeah,
you need to contact Hoops Vision. I didn't really realize that that's what you had done was cataract surgery.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make a big deal of
it. But it was, and it ended up being.
Well, I went in for one procedure, and they said, "Well, we can't do that because you've got a cataract. So let's take care of that." And they just a great job.
They do a great job with everything. So laser eye surgery, laser eye correction. I feel really weird even calling it surgery because it's not like you're going under the knife, man. It's you're conscious while this happens. You feel no pain while it happens. There are no or very seldom any blades involved. It's all lasers do all the work. Well, and the kind and gentle hand of Dr. Hoops guiding everything, of course. But laser eye surgery at Hoops Vision. Get rid of your glasses. Get rid of your contact lenses. They have 0 interest financing for 24 months. See clearly guarantee. Ask about that. Call for a free, no obligation appointment. 52745 or go to hoopsvision.com.
One of the things I love about Valley Office Systems is they're a joy to work with. Honestly, we are a 24-hour business. We rarely have an issue, but when we do, we let them know, and they're out here just as quickly as possible. Honestly, their service is second to none.
The sense of summer, barbecues, days at the beach, with your buddies, the smell of a man, a cologne that says,
I am a man. I am all man. I am very, very manly, dude.
Radio from Hell brand beer scented cologne. A little one-on-one b-ball at the playground, or working all day on your car in the hot, hot sun. A man wants to smell like a man. Radio from Hell brand beer scented cologne. Being a man is hot, sweaty work, and hot, sweaty work all goes better with beer.
Radio from Hell brand beer scented cologne. Now available in convenient 6-packs at Checker Auto Parts and on draft in kegs at Costco.
Coming soon. Radio from Hell brand Zima scented perfume for the ladies.
Radio from Hell on X96.
821.
I watched an episode, the very first episode I have ever watched of BoJack Horseman last night.
Okay.
And it was episode number 1.
All right.
So I really shouldn't judge it based on that, I assume. But it was sort of like Family Guy. Have you watched it?
I've not watched BoJack Horseman yet.
Nick's saying, not so much.
No, it doesn't. Just that first episode. I mean, with those kind of asides that always happen. Those Nick, I don't know. We got 1 second here, really quick, Nick. Are you a big BoJack Horseman fan?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And I keep thinking, well, I'm going to watch it because it ends up on TV Critics' best lists of the year all the time,
and it deservedly so. Yeah.
So the first episode I watched, it seemed a little like Family Guy to me.
I would keep watching it.
In that it's animated? Or?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
No, just the way they do, they'll do those weird aside things that just happen out of context.
Yeah, they have some quick quips that they throw in every once in a while. But, I mean, Family Guy does a lot of cutaway jokes and more pop culture.
Okay. Well,
you need to see more than one, probably.
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
All right.
This is a whole debate.
Thank you. All right. Let's begin with round 2 of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote which of these 3 candidates is the worst. Which one of these 3 deserves to go forward for a 50-50 chance of becoming boner of the day. It'll go up against the winner of round 1. Boner fight happens at 9:20. So decide now which of these 3 deserves to go. 2 candidates now, then a third after the news. Once you've gotten all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
the highly coveted hearty handshake from Bill Allred.
People are really, really digging on that, you know? I almost now almost a day does not go by. Someone does not come up and ask me for that hearty handshake.
You're going to get the flu.
Yep.
Here's boner candidate number 1. I was fondling my candy, not myself. San Francisco man arrested for indecent exposure and masturbating was found not guilty.
Not guilty.
After his defense attorney proved that he was simply trying to remove some stolen chocolate bars and some Skittles from his pants. And he wasn't actually playing with himself.
Huh?
Eugene Childs had just swiped some chocolate bars and some Skittles from a Walgreens in the Castro neighborhood in San Francisco.
Okay.
The wheelchair-bound military veteran, it says here, walked over. So if he's wheelchair-bound, I'm not thinking he walked anywhere.
He rolled.
But it says here, he walked over to a nearby AIDS clinic and tried removing some of the stolen goodies from his pants. When he was spotted by 2 employees, the workers pulled out their cell phones, began calling the cops, and filming him. His pants were falling down. They filmed him, and then they asked him to leave. They didn't call the cops, apparently.
Okay.
They filmed him fiddling around with his pants. His pants sort of fell down. He was caught on tape fumbling with some M&Ms, some Skittles, and other treats as he yelled at the employees, and then eventually he walked away. This wheelchair-bound vet walked away. This is not a very good story, is it?
No.
It's the New York Post. A woman later claimed to have seen Mr. Childs masturbating for about a minute. He was also accused of spitting at one of the clinic workers. But in court, public defenders argued that this was all just one big misunderstanding. Mr. Childs was in no way pleasuring himself, at least not pleasuring himself in that way.
With candy.
He was just trying to get his candy that he'd stolen. His baggy pants slipped down during the confrontation, left his butt exposed a little bit. That's what happens. He's a disabled veteran. He uses a wheelchair when he's not walking back and forth, his attorney said, and he had several bags of candy in his pants. Boner and the judge said, "Okay,
all right,
I'm there. I believe." Boner candidate number 1. I was fondling my candy, not myself.
It's a Skittle defense.
Quit. Don't play with your Skittles either. Okay. Boner candidate number 2, Katie. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Oh, I'm glad you found this one.
During an interview Tuesday on MSNBC, host Katie Tour asked Republican Representative Chris Stewart, he's my congressman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud. He asked Congressman Stewart whether President Donald Trump could be trying to purge FBI and Justice Department officials while his campaign is under investigation. Utah Congressman quickly dismissed her question, suggesting that the two of them just see the world differently. Now, this is one of those cases, he said, where it's just men are from Mars and women are from Venus, Katie. Katie Tur, when she heard that, cut him off abruptly, had a stunned look on her face and said, wait, I'm sorry, hold on for a second here. You think that we see the world differently? I just laid out a number of facts. Facts. How is it that we can see these differently?
Good for her.
Yes.
Well, let me respond to them, Stewart said. People can say or look at things and claim facts or claim their interpretations of facts, but clearly have 2 different views on that.
Alternative facts.
No, facts are facts.
The congressman, a member of the House Intelligence Committee, took heat for the reply on social media. So her point was irrelevant because she doesn't understand your point because she's a woman, one person said on social media. Because that's what he seemed to say.
Seems pretty clear.
And the facts that she laid out are simply, it's the Nunez memo, which this all comes from. We haven't really talked about that. So the head of the House Intelligence Committee, the Republican leader of that committee, Nunez, says, I've written this memo. Well, he didn't really write it. His staff wrote it. Based on intelligence reports and all kinds of information.
That he has seen.
That has not been vetted, by the way.
He has not, and he's not really read it either. He's not read any of it. He has read the memo that was prepared by his staff that says that there is a conspiracy in the Justice Department, in the FBI and the CIA, and they're trying to dump Donald Trump, and there's this vast conspiracy going on.
It's BS.
It is. It is total BS. Other members of the committee who have seen this memo, the Democratic members, have said, "Good Lord, it's just something that's made up." And the Justice Department,
this is why it's important for them to be independent.
Jeff Sessions and his lawyers have said, don't release this memo because there's nothing to base it on.
It's going to bring up Carter Page again, which they're going to say, see, they went after Carter Page because he was a Republican. No, he was a Russian operative.
But they don't. But so the Justice Department smartly says, "Don't release this memo."
They're going to release it.
Well, because Donald Trump says,
we're going to
against his because Donald Trump wants it out there to keep things being confused.
That's right.
And to keep casting aspersions on
there.
the FBI and the CIA.
So what does that have to do with a woman not understanding things that a man?
Nothing. She had the facts, and Chris is seeing things in a strange way.
Chris is not smart. Boner candidate number 2, Katie, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I don't know if you knew that. Now, this is a book, Katie, that you probably have never heard of or read.
I'm glad she called him on it. I'm glad she didn't just take that.
I don't know why anybody even has him on. Coming up in a moment, Boner candidate number 3, I'm the mayor of Farmington, and my word shall be law.
All right. Owner candidate number 3 for round 2, right after this big boy news and opinioendo. Brought to you by
Utah Presents brings Scott Sylvan, renowned illusionist, mentalist, and performance artist, on February 10th to Kingsbury Hall. Tickets at utahpresents.org.
Well, I guess the feud between Piers Morgan and Trevor Noah is getting pretty ugly. Trevor Noah on Monday called out Piers Morgan.
Thin-skinned Piers Morgan.
Yeah, for his softball interview with President Trump, which aired Sunday in Britain ITV. Well, Piers Morgan responded with a vicious swipe of his own. Noah now stated the segment on the Daily Show, started the segment on the Daily Show by introducing Piers Morgan as the uneffable Colin Firth.
He had a picture of Piers and Colin Firth right next to each other.
Kind of look a little bit
alike. There's Colin Firth and there's the uneffable Colin Firth.
Yes.
Also, of course, he was the former winner of Celebrity Apprentice. Morgan, who hosts Good Morning Britain, responded to the Daily Show host's insult on Twitter. Hi, Trevor Noah. Or hi, at Trevor Noah. I agree I'm not as effable as Colin Firth, but you're not as funny as Jon Stewart. So we're kind of even.
You know what? I'll bet Trevor Noah's never heard that.
Every day.
That's not original. That's not an original take there.
Noah continued to ridicule. I'm sure Trevor Noah just went whatever, and continued to ridicule Morgan on his apparent bromance with Donald Trump. I missed you, Trump said to Morgan in a snippet that Noah showed him. Really? Donald Trump said that to?
Yeah.
I missed you. I missed you. Really?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
You're a friendly.
And if you want to get to like Trevor Noah, if you're having trouble liking Trevor Noah, watch the comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with him. And you learn a lot about him.
He's a smart guy.
Smart dude and very funny and has quite a history.
Has a story. His mother got shot in the face by his father. I think it was his father.
They talk about
or
his,
her husband anyway.
They talk about his mother and all that in the.
I thought that was a
Comedians
funny
in Cars.
show.
It is a funny show, but you learn a lot.
Well, he says I learned my sense of humor from my mother because she said she was always the most beautiful one in our family, and she got shot in the face, and it was pretty disfiguring. She's in the hospital and lying in there in bed. And I go to visit her, and she looked up at me and she said, "You know, even being shot in the face and looking at you, I'm still the most beautiful one in the family." Something like that was a joke that she made like that.
Anyway.
Now, after the State of the Union address last night, Donald Trump, Joe Kennedy III came on to give the Democratic response, but all anybody could talk about was the drool coming out of the side of his mouth.
And it wasn't a crashed car behind him; it was a Mustang with the hood up.
Well, it looked like a big,
American, smirk.
Okay,
because I didn't watch it. I just saw the still of his drool.
Yeah, and it's. You're sure it wasn't the car that his uncle used at Chappaquiddick?
No.
Okay, just you know that fake Hawaii missile attack thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd been blaming it on an employee who they said made a mistake, pushed the wrong button. That's not what happened. This employee did push a button that triggered the missile alert, and that employee thought that there really was a missile attack and had the ability to say there's a missile attack coming. Now, what had happened was they were doing an internal drill
that he was not aware of.
That this employee did not know about. I was not there the day it was happening. So it was just a drill, but the employee didn't know that and pressed the button.
So obviously what needs to happen here is everybody needs to be made aware of drills, and it shouldn't just take one person.
One guy,
to send.
Should not be one person that has to do that. Yeah. Let's see. I should touch on this really quickly. How much time do we have here?
Quickly.
This is a friend of the program whose parents are still missing. Utah family still searching for their missing parents and requesting the public's help. The couple, Jerry and Susanna McFalls, disappeared from Littlefield, Arizona, near the Utah border. Family says that when police did a welfare check on January 21, the door was open, but keys, dogs, purse, cell phones, everything still in the house, vehicles in the driveway.
Really?
The family has been looking ever since, desperate for answers in the search for Jerry and Susan McFalls, last heard from by family on January 11. "You don't ever expect that this is going to happen to you or your family," said their son, Jerry McFalls. "I miss you, Grandma and Grandpa," said 13-year-old Ethan McFalls.
So strange.
"They are more than just parents. They're the best friends to me. We did everything together. Me and my old man owned a repair shop together for 30 years, said their son, Jerry. Mojave County sheriffs in Arizona have confirmed that a search warrant has been served on a neighbor's property. As a residents in Littlefield, they searched the resident of neighbors to the McFalls. They do believe the McFalls have disappeared under suspicious circumstances, so they're actively investigating the disappearance, said a spokesperson for the sheriff's office. And the family is searching, and they have a lot of friends who are going down there, and because there's a lot of desert out there around that place, and so they're trying to, just really awful. So. And that's it, I guess.
All right. Sports, weather, traffic.
So way to go Jazz last night in their new uniforms with the new floor.
Who did they beat?
Golden State.
Oh.
The world champions, Bill.
Ooh.
And they beat them handily by like 30 points. So it was...
it's the new uniforms.
And Alex Smith is leaving Kansas City and going to... Well, I hate that he's going to Washington because I have to call it the Washington football team.
Why do you hate that? He's going to go play for
awkward.
Washington. Well, you just say he's going to go play for Washington.
Okay. He's going to go play for Washington.
He's now a Washington.
And your help me.
My what? My nose.
Weather brought to you by climate change.
Weather brought to you in part by climate change.
And
there we go.
This is because of Nathan Blue.
Yes, I'm trying to do it properly.
All right.
Weather brought to you in part by climate change and looking for a great deal on a used smartphone but don't want to meet a creepy guy in a parking lot. Bad Apple repairs, buys, sells, and trades smartphones. BadAppleRepair.com. Warm again today, not quite as warm as yesterday. We almost got up to 60 yesterday, but today it will be 54 and partly cloudy.
All right.
And you want a quick traffic?
Sure.
Crash northbound I-15 at milepost 281 in Lehigh. The HOV lane is closed there. Crash 5600 west, 47th south in West Valley. Crash northbound I-15 125th south in Salt Lake. Crash 78 south eastbound at Mountain View. And crash southbound I-15 at Shepherd Lane in Davis County.
All right.
Here's Boner candidate number 3, which is, I'm the mayor of Farmington, and my word shall be law. The award for most embarrassing misuse of public office goes to, this is according to Mark Saul in the Standard Examiner, goes to the mayor of Farmington, Jim Talbot. He has decided to weigh in on the new Farmington High School mascot.
Oh, boy.
The Phoenix.
Because that's important.
And you can tell by looking at that guy.
Yes.
He is the law.
That's right.
What's more, he's using his position as an elected official, the mayor of Farmington, in an attempt to circumvent the free and fair voting that resulted in the students choosing the mascot Phoenix. In his most recent mayor's message, splashed across the front page of the Farmington City newsletter, Mayor Talbot uses the weight of his office to bring pressure to bear on the Davis School District over an issue he calls embarrassing. He's calling for the superintendent and principal to ignore the will of the students and pick a different mascot for the new school. Eagles, he says, should be the name.
Why does he get to decide?
Because he's the mayor.
Well, why is Talbot doing this? Because he thinks somebody might use an obscure pluralization of the word phoenix, phoenices, to drag and tag that school with the nickname penises. I can't believe.
Well, we didn't say penises. We said penises.
Right. But you wouldn't even say that.
No.
You would say go Phoenix.
Go Phoenix.
That's what you would say. You wouldn't say go Phoenixes or Phoenices.
Again, surely there are other issues for the mayor to be dealing with.
He has had several meetings, he says, several meetings about this issue.
I'm glad things are going so well in your city that there's nothing else that needs your attention.
We had meetings.
Listen here, you two young people. I am the mayor of Farmington, and my word shall be law. Boner candidate number 3.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
You want to know where the Phoenix is? It's the mayor of Farmington. Boner candidate number 1, which was, I was fondling my candy, not myself. Say a guy who was, he got off. They claimed he was playing with himself in public. It was in San Francisco. No, he was just trying to get some stolen candy out of his pants. Boner candidate number 2, Katie, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Utah Representative Chris Stewart, he's my congressman, tells MSNBC host Katie Truer that, we see things differently because, well, I'm a man and you, Katie, you're a woman. And Boner candidate number 3, I'm the mayor of Farmington and my word shall be law.
All right, there you go. You've got to decide which of these 3 is the worst and therefore most deserving to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight. Face down the winner of round 1. Get a 50-50 chance of becoming Boner of the Day. 1, 2, or 3, you decide on the candidate. Put the number of the candidate you think should win in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. You can call, use your voice, 877-602-9696, or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Voting January 31st and vote there. You've only got 4.5 minutes to do it. Things that must go coming up as well. It's round 2, Boner Voting. Let's go.
X96 gives you a 1-hour nonstop music wingding with John Smith right after Radio from Hell.
I'm at a taste test for...
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of 2 such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders! Today, we find our elders tracting on the ice planet Hoth. Oh, man, it's cold out here. Why is it so cold?
It's an ice planet, Lehigh. What do you expect?
Well, I'm sure glad my mom sent me these mittens.
And Zone Leader Hansen has sent us to some pretty dismal places before, but this has got to be the worst. Well, I hope that this Wampa fella lets us in and offers us some piping hot postum.
You know, these tauntaun thingies smell funny, and they're just not very comfortable to ride. I wish our hyperbikes hadn't frozen up. Let's see, third cave on the left, just past the second snowdrift. Yep, this must be it. Hello? Hello, Mr. Wampa?
I don't suppose his first name is Willie, do you? See, Willie Wampa. What? Hello, anybody home? Hey, pal, that's my ride home you're having for lunch.
You must be Mr. Wampa. Hi, I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is my companion, Elder Jensen.
Hi.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Look out, Butch! Oh, man, he knocked you down. That's gonna leave a mark. Excuse me, Mr. Wampa, all we want is just a couple minutes of your time. Oh!
Oh, man. Where am I? Oh, heck. Hey, Lehigh, wake up.
Oh.
Wake up.
Oh, what in the flip?
This is just great. Here we are, hanging upside down, stuck to the roof of a Wampa cave, our feet frozen in what appears to be Wampa spit, while my ride home gets eaten by Mr. Wampa out there.
Yuck, I don't think this Wampa spit's ever gonna come off my wingtips. Hey, there's somebody stuck to the ceiling behind you.
Huh? Hey, it's that farm boy from Tatooine. Hey, Luke! Luke, wake up!
Huh? Ben?
No, not Ben, it's me, Butch. I don't suppose you got a plan to get us out of here, do you?
If I could just reach for my lightsaber. There. Ah, so much for the element of surprise.
Hey, look, your dad, Darth Vader, cut off Lehigh's arm with one of those things. Cut him some slack.
Will Butch and Lehigh ever escape from Wampa Cave? Will Luke cut Lehigh's arm off just for the fun of it? Will our elders ever get the Wampa spit off of their wingtips? Tune in next time to hear Lehigh say... Oh, thanks, Luke. For a minute there, I figured we was Wampa Chow.
Luke.
Ben?
Luke.
Ben, is that you?
You will go to the Dagobah system.
Mr. Kenobi? Dagobah? I've never even heard of it.
That's a swamp planet. You're not missing much.
You must seek out Yoda and continue your training.
But I've already been to the MTC. Ben? Yoda? Dagobah?
Mr. Kenobi, are you sure? I mean, we've already been to Dagobah.
Hold on. I've got some problems here. Luke, you go to Dagobah and seek Yoda. Butch, Lehigh, you go thaw out your hyperbikes and continue tracting. I should have gotten Jedi call waiting.
On the next bone-chilling episode of Space Elder!
Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, so let's award round 2 of your boner voting.
Yes, and round 2 of the boner voting is brought to you totally by...
In part
by a salad niçoise, but I forgot the vermouth potatoes.
Oh.
And stop buying disposable office printers off the shelf at that big box store. Get the highest quality commercial-grade printers from Valley Office Systems for a whole lot less than you'd expect. ValleyOfficeSystems.com.
So we had boner candidate number 1, which was, I was fondling my candy, not myself. That's the guy in San Francisco. Stole some candy, put it in his pants. He was trying to get the candy out of his pants. People thought he was doing something else and called the cops on him. But went to trial, and the judge believed him. You were not doing anything bad. You stole the candy. Boner candidate number 2, Katie. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. Representative Chris Stewart mansplaining to MSNBC host Katie Tour that, we see the world differently. You can lay out the facts, but you'll see them one way because you're a woman. You understand, Katie? What a... And boner candidate number 3, I'm the mayor of Farmington. My word shall be law. Farmington Mayor Big Jim Talbot. I bet that's what they call him.
Oh.
Big Jim.
I just know the 80s called and they want his hair back.
He's getting himself in the Phoenix mascot controversy. We can't have this school be called the Phoenix. It have to be something like the Eagles, the Beavers. How about let's have
Beavers. No one can make fun of that.
The Beavers. Nobody would make fun of that. Right. The winner, boner candidate number 2, Representative Chris Stewart.
All right, he's going up against the winner of round 1 in boner fight. He has a 50-50 chance of becoming boner of the day. That happens at 9:20. Things that must go, brought to you by
Nothing. Go.
All right, thank you.
Things that must go on.
All right, these are things that are really bugging you, things that you have sent to us via email in the hopes that if we read them on the air, then you can say, hey, that thing left my life. I wanted it to go, and now it's gone. Send them to radiofromhell@x96.com. Put must go in the subject line. And, let's see. I had one of my own. Oh, wobbly restaurant tables. Must go. I can't stand it. And sometimes they'll come and try and put a matchbook under the... I don't care what you have to do, get rid of those tables. I was at a restaurant the other day. I won't say what it was. The table wobbly. Okay, let's move. So we moved. That table wobbled. The next table wobbled,
Maybe
too.
you were wobbly.
No. Nope, sorry.
If you're at a restaurant with cloth napkins, I find if you put the cloth napkin under the table leg, that works, and then you ask for another napkin.
Oh, okay.
Well, the first table, it wouldn't have worked because it was the actual tabletop that was wobbly. Okay. And then the next one, it was the legs that were wobbly. Let's see. Here's a must-go from Sean. Frontrunner runs differently from all other commuting experiences. Driving, bus, or tracks. Trains run on the opposite side from what you're used to, like we're in England. For instance, southbound trains run on the east and northbound trains. Southbound trains run on the east and northbound trains run on the west.
It's like they're not the same way you drive.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Well, you're not driving the train.
Yeah.
And counterintuitive until you get used to it. Every morning, the newbies are standing waiting for the train on the opposite side of the platform.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
It's people that are stupid that are doing that. I'm sorry,
Because
Sean.
there are signs that say...
Yes.
But you can see where intuitively you might say, well, no, it's got to be going that way.
Then Sean should help the newbies. Help them have a better commuting experience.
Sean, reach out to the stupid.
Yes.
Let's see. Good morning, my radio lovelies. My must-goes have to deal with men's restrooms.
Yes.
Urinal dribblers. Oh.
Yeah.
What do you never go in there? What do you care? I
sounds
realize
gross.
this is America and your fashionable gut makes it difficult for you to reach down there, but take a half a step closer to the urinal, okay? And this is true. And sometimes it's sticky, which is also...
And it's on your shoes?
Yeah, on the shoe.
Yeah.
Let's see. The people that get up from the chair, walk 20 yards across a level floor, and are out of breath by the time they get to the bathroom must go. The amount of grunting in the bathroom must go. Could be amplified acoustics from tile walls, but tone it down, will you? And it took me 38 years to discover this thing. People that stand up to wipe their bottoms. This doesn't really affect me in any way other than it just kind of confuses me. How is this a better alternative to wiping while sitting? Keep up the good work, Brett.
How do you know if they're standing?
I think you can...
You're looking through the crack there, Brett?
I think you can sort of tell if you see their feet under the...
I think you just pay attention to what you're doing. And
yeah.
I just look straight ahead
I'm in
and
there,
try not to
yeah,
breathe.
I'm on business in there. I don't have time.
And that's it.
All right.
Okay, Carrie?
I got a couple of my own. The first one I encountered in Disney World. Now, when you're staying at a resort, they have buses that come and pick you up.
Do they run east, west, or north, south?
And it's just there's a stop, and it says we're going to the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Whatever. And we're riding in to the Magic Kingdom, and the bus is quiet because it's early in the morning and people are tired, and the bus is quiet. But there are these two meatheads having a sports ball conversation. And they don't need to be using their outside voices because the bus is quiet. Yeah, I think the problem is the quarterback. Nah, the defense is awful.
that's how they talk all the time.
And I wonder if that's the case.
I'm sure.
So I guess my must-go is people who don't have a concept of an inside voice. They're just loud all the time. Usually it's people in radio. I mean, I hear it here in the hallways all the time. People in radio who don't understand. They have a microphone in front of them.
Just
They
talk
don't
like a
need to
person.
yell. But anyway, so there's that. And then this one from my wife. She noticed this, and yes, again back to the Disney resorts. We went to Epcot.
Yeah.
And was able to get drinks there. We went to the Hollywood Studios and were able to get alcoholic beverages there as well. We then go to Magic Kingdom, and we find three places. Gaston's Tavern. Liberty
Can you dance on the table?
Liberty Tree Tavern. The Tortuga Tavern. I don't think you should be allowed to use the word tavern.
Oh, they don't sell.
Unless you serve alcoholic beverages.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? No
Yes.
liquor at a place called a tavern. Confusing.
Well, they were saying, and the movies they were drinking
They
in
do.
jail.
Yes. No one drinks like Gaston. No one farts like Gaston. I don't know the words.
Something like that.
Something like that. But there you go. This one from Rob. One thing that must, I think he voiced to text this one. One thing that I feel must go. Oh, Rob. Is public trash cans with lids that have springs that are so tight on them that you actually have to fight them to throw away your garbage.
I know.
I agree with that. Thank you, Rob. This one from Alan. Alan! I have lived in many states across the country, and nowhere is this a problem more prevalent than in Utah. I see more people driving at night or early in the morning with their lights off than I have in any other state. I don't know why this is. I do have a theory. I think it's due to the fact that certain cars have backlit dashboard gauges, and when you can see them all the time in the light or the dark, people in their heads don't turn on their lights because they can see the gauges and they think, well, I don't need my lights must be on.
Yeah.
So be conscious of that. Thank you, Alan. Alan. And this one from Brett. I'm only reading this because I don't understand.
Okay.
Anyone that lives in their dream home, why do you get a life so privileged?
I think this is just someone bitter.
Oh, Brad.
I got my dream.
Most people don't live in their dream home. Most people.
I'd like to live in a home where I can dream.
I love my home.
But it's not your dream home.
But it's not my dream home. There are a lot of, first of all, there's no ocean. You know, there are a lot of things. Yeah, come on, Brad.
Yeah.
All right.
This is from Tony. I think I brought this up yesterday. My thing that must go, TV shows that feature amnesia as a plot device. Amnesia should not be allowed to be a plot device in a TV show anymore. I can't remember why I have all these tattoos. I don't know.
I don't remember you ever talking about this before.
We did.
No, I can't. What? What's your name?
Let's see. Hey, Radio from Hell. I am a molder of young minds, a teacher, and as you can imagine, I have quite a few things that must go. Here's just a couple. Parents who are perfectly content with letting the S show of the teachers that don't get their way and throw a fit, and they take the kids' side over the teacher's side. Numerous excuses that come with the lack of homework, all code for I didn't do it, but can I still get credit? Just read your damn book. And finally, the show Once Upon a Time being on Netflix. It's not that great, but I'm sucked in and I watch too much of it. Geek Show says, hey, make mine a double. Jeannie, you seem like a great mom. Well, thanks. This from Katie. People who clip their nails at the office, not just an emergency hangnail, but your regular grooming.
I stopped doing that.
You did used to
when
do
you made,
that, yeah.
I've done it before, and you got on me about it.
Thank
so
you.
I quit.
People with window cubicles who keep their blinds closed all day. What's the point of having the window? Thanks for letting me listen, Katie.
You know what they're doing in there.
And finally, this from Jennifer. My must-go is simple. The fact that the clouds are ruining my chance to see the cool astronomical effects of the moon today. I've seen many eclipses. They're all awesome, but I wanted to see this.
Well, go to x96.com/live during the commercials, and there will be a
live feed.
A live feed of the eclipse there.
All right.
Things that must go on the radio.
Coming up after these, we have Corey's Concert and Community Calendar, and we're going to give away a Park City Culinary Institute Scholarship gift certificate. Nice. All right. Now, I came home the other day, and on the front porch was the Pro Flowers box.
Oh, I like it when that box is on the front
Green
porch.
and brown box that comes, but it was weird shaped. It was bigger. It was like kind of bulkier. And so I opened it up. Pro Flowers and Sherry's Berries have teamed up to help you really impress your Valentine
all
this
in
year.
one box?
So I got flowers and Sherry's Berries in the same box.
So what's the occasion?
It's Valentine's Day.
It is?
Yeah. It's coming up, right?
Yes, the 14th.
Okay. So this is a perfectly paired gift. It delicious, of course, the Sherry's Berries. The roses were beautiful. It was just terrific. So very easy to do. You can get 20%. You can save 20% on any one of their perfectly paired combinations or any other gift over $29 with the promo code X96. So it's very simple to do. Pick the delivery date. It's guaranteed. Customer satisfaction is always number one on your money back. There's only one way to get 20% off of a perfectly paired gift over $29 featuring beautiful blooms from Pro Flowers and freshly dipped strawberries from Sherry's Berries. Go to proflowers.com and enter the code X96 at checkout. That's the way you do it. proflowers.com. The code is X96. Valentine's Day is coming. Time is running out for you to make a film for the Radio from Hell Film Festival.
Make a
doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but, I mean, come on. You know, we'll take what we can get. X96.
No pee breaks, people. No pee breaks.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh well.
We got Corey, and we got a giveaway right now. Want to
do it.
learn how to cook? Yes, Chef. Radio from Hell has your chance to win a $150 cooking class certificate and be qualified to win a $1,000 scholarship, all from Park City Culinary Institute. Visit x96.com for details and more chances to win. But right now, we're going to give away a $150 cooking class certificate, and then you'll be entered into that drawing for the $1,000 credit. Bill, do you have a hard cooking food question?
I do. I love drawings. I love it. All right, a random caller at 877-602-9696.
No, not random. You got to be able to answer the question.
Who can answer.
Okay.
Do I speak too slowly for you? Is that
I'm
what
just
it
saying
is?
it's not random.
I know. I was. You didn't let me finish my sentence. A random caller at 877-602-9696 who can answer this tough food trivia question. Scallions are also commonly known as blank onions. Scallions. That's really easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blank onions.
You better.
Do you know?
You better tell Nick. He's not sure, and he's the one taking the calls.
Oh, here, I'll tell you.
It's a color, Nick.
Here we go.
It's a color.
All
You
right.
got it?
Gina's sending you the answer. All right.
It's a color that's not red.
Okay.
Not blue. Blank onions.
You know, if Nick would have stayed up late last night till 4 a.m. watching the Great British Cooking Show like I did.
Did you really?
I don't know what it is about that show.
It is great. It hooks you in, doesn't it?
It's so because there's zero cynicism on that show.
No, I know. Mary Berry is just the most wonderful woman on
She's
the planet.
fantastic.
Yeah, and her real name is Mary Berry. And Paul Hollywood, which I thought that's a fake name. It's
gotta be.
No.
His real name is Paul
You don't
Hollywood.
watch this show?
No.
No, Carrie, no?
No, I watch a different cooking show.
The Great British Bake Off. It
Top
is
Chef.
great.
And there seems to be no prize except for the pride of winning. They never mention a prize.
That's right.
I like that.
Are you sponsored today, Corey?
We are. Brought to you by The Depot and the Might Be Giants that will be performing at The Depot on March 9th, 21 and over show.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
It's always a good show.
Yeah.
It is Corey's concert and community calendar.
Yes, short list this week. Friday. Let's skip ahead to Friday.
What?
Reverend Horton Heat returns. Jimbo on bass at The Depot.
I love the Reverend.
I love that. I remember seeing him at the Tower Theater probably like 10 years ago. And at the end of the show, some kid throws something on stage and he looks right at the kid and just middle finger in the air, right at the kid's face. And he's like, it's always the rich kids. I always remember that. Right in this kid's face.
Always the rich kids.
I was like, yes. Preach, Rev, preach. Also going on Friday, the USA Climbing Bouldering Open National Championships at the Salt Palace.
Really? Is that?
Yes.
Do you have to pay to get into that?
It didn't mention anything about paying. Anything like that.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, they build these giant walls and strong fingers. So.
And they do bouldering as well.
Bouldering, yeah.
And so they must have big fake boulders that they.
There's a little picture you can go check out on the blog. Just a neat illustration. Yeah.
Brought them in.
Yeah.
So bringing in the boulders. Also, and I love her Netflix special, Mother Inferior, fantastic. Christina P. is at Wise Guys on Friday and Saturday night. She's also, if you don't know, married to Tom Segura. They do some podcasts together.
She's very funny.
Not
She's fantastic.
Mary.
Christina P.
Christina P.
P-E-A?
It stands for Pazinski, I believe, but she just
just
goes by
letter P.
Christina P.
Letter P. Okay.
Sunday, Super Bowl, obviously. Yeah.
Or the Puppy Bowl, or the Kitty Bowl.
Or any of those. But Broovies apparently will be doing half-off nachos and half-off wings. So if you don't feel like cooking, throw that out there.
That's the way to go.
So the Broovies is going to show the Super Bowl?
Yep.
On
one of their big screens.
On just one of their screens.
No, and $3 drafts, too.
Nice.
Naturally, 21 and over. So one place you could check that out at. Monday of Mice and Men will be at the Complex. Tuesday, and our final event this week, The Killers at the Viv.
That's a little.
And there's still some tickets left. I think
quite a little show.
Just a little one, yeah. So
still some left.
There are still some
That's
tickets.
good
yeah.
to point out. People might think it's sold out.
Yeah, I thought it did too, but I did the hard research and went to SmithTix.com my own self.
Our friend in London who listens, Mary Berry is a national treasure here in the UK.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I used to not be able to stand her, but I absolutely love the Great British Bake Off. Mary isn't on the new season. Just be warned.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I'm
they-
on season 4 on Netflix.
Yes.
So I guess the new one.
they did some kind of a split or something, and I think there are 2 shows now. Or
Naturally, you've got to have a franchise.
Yeah.
And speaking of cooking shows, our friend Paulette
Yes.
is returning to beat Bobby Flay. But this time she won't be just one of those judges that come in at the end.
Mhm.
She's going to be throughout the entire
Oh, good
episode
for her.
judging. So that'll be good.
following Bobby Flay through around the kitchen,
Yes.
going, I don't know, Bobby.
And we'll let you know when that airs.
Okay.
Well, she'll let me know, and
I'd like
pass
to.
it on.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Is that it?
I'm a top.
That's it, yeah.
I'm a Top Chef guy.
You're like Top Chef?
Yeah, pad me.
Corey's community and concert calendar, and that's it. And you can find all of those things on x96.com.
Yep. And if you have an event coming up you think we might like to talk about, you can submit it on the website as well.
All right.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's see now. Coming up, we do have for you a boner fight.
Yes.
But before that, a reasonable amount of news.
Okay.
So be ready for that.
I'm for that, and we should mention Diamonds Direct.
Diamonds
here.
Direct,
We're gearing
'cause-
up for Valentine's.
Do you have a
Yes.
reasonable amount of diamonds? Probably
they
not.
have more than reasonable.
It's a very unreasonable amount of diamonds. They should never have that many.
It's a great selection. You go to other jewelry stores, and especially if you're looking at their loose diamonds, they might have 5, 6 for you to choose from.
Yep.
Diamonds Direct, huge inventory.
They pulled out a big old box. It was
Valentine's Day, they're having a sale for Valentine's Day, which I understand is on the 14th this year.
Every year.
So the sale starts February 5th at Diamonds Direct. Choose from a stunning collection of the most romantic gifts and enjoy 5 years zero interest financing at Diamonds Direct. Let me give you just one example of something you could do with the zero interest financing. How about a $3,000 pair of diamond stud earrings? Well, I can't afford that, you say. You could afford $50 a month, couldn't you?
Sure.
So, and no interest. You pay it off over a 5-year period. $4,000 diamond tennis bracelet. Oh, it's my chance. $67 a month. I'm going to get one for myself.
I think you should.
I'm going to go to Diamonds Direct. They're on 6400 South, right across from the Fashion Place Mall.
Hi there, it's Kerry Jackson. Geek Show is me and all my best friends sitting in my basement studio, drinking, laughing.
Hell Show.
Hey,
No?
now.
Call 877-602-9696 or
Right.
text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
That's fine.
A pushy guy.
That's just fine. Got to get in there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right. 9:16. Well, boner fight. You know, judging by the time, we were late and now we're early. Because I was counting on Corey to have more
events,
but I should have realized it's January. Things are kind of slow.
So we could have had a potty break song. Why don't you just play it now?
Someone texting just now asking, is the lieutenant governor still on?
No, but next we're going to have him on once a week during the legislative session on Wednesdays at 7:45.
Yeah.
I just, I really like him. I disagree with a lot of his political leanings, but he's an honest guy, and he's funny, and he's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he's willing to come here, which
Well,
not everybody in his party is.
I was not kidding.
People.
I was not kidding when I said to him today, if you're going to run for governor, my best advice to you is don't appear on this show anymore.
Better stop at least once he decides he's going to.
Yeah.
All right, but now we have time for a reasonable amount of news before we get to boner
right.
fight. So anything that we did not get to that you wanted to get to, now's the time to whip it out.
So to speak.
Yes, brought to you by.
Experience the best parts of your own backyard at Reebok Ragnar Wasatch Back June 1st and 2nd. It's an overnight team relay race inspired a worldwide running movement. Grab 11 friends and enroll today at runragnar.com. Enter promo code X96. Receive $60 off team registration.
Stand back.
What?
I'm going to whip out the news. Tragedy.
Oh?
Dennis Perron has passed at the age of 71. Dennis Perron.
Don't know.
Mr. Perron openly dealt marijuana.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
From a supermarket in San Francisco in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm. How'd he do that?
He just did it.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody said anything?
Well, yes, they did. And he
Oh.
was arrested occasionally.
There he is.
This is Mr. Perron on the right there at x96.com/live. The other guy in the picture with the guy with the beard is Jack Herrer, another marijuana activist. And that's a picture that was taken in 1996 during a legalization campaign. Mr. Perron identified with marijuana all of his adult life. His cause of death was, according to his spouse, John Entwistle Jr., respiratory failure.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. He began smoking marijuana at 17. He continued in Vietnam, where he served in the Air Force, and he smuggled 2 pounds of marijuana stateside in his duffel bag after he was let out of the Air Force. I came back and I kissed the ground, he said, to Leafy.com, which is an online cannabis website. I was happy partly because I had 2 pounds of marijuana with me. That started a career that would span 40 years, he said. He was short, puckish, and charismatic.
Puckish.
Yeah. Mr. Perron embraced, I think it's Perron, P-E-R-O-N. Could be Perron, but...
Well, Evita is Perron, and that's how she spells it.
Perron. Mr. Perron, but there's no... Doesn't she have like a little...
Accent
over it? This doesn't, but... Anyway, he embraced the hippie lifestyle in San Francisco. He lived in a commune, dealt marijuana. He smoked marijuana, opened a restaurant where the second floor was given over to selling marijuana. He was arrested several times, and during one bust at his 11-room supermarket on Castro Street, he was shot in the leg by an undercover police officer. Prison sentence for possessing 200 pounds of marijuana ensued, but it took the AIDS crisis to turn Mr. Perron into a political activist. He had known for years about the palliative effects, palliative meaning, it soothes pain and eases pain. He had known about these effects of marijuana. He recognized that pot had allowed him to stay sober after years as an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
When an earlier lover, Jonathan West, was dying of AIDS, he saw marijuana eased the nausea and the pain that Mr. West felt from the medications he was taking.
It does.
So one night in January of 1990, the police raided their home, arrested Mr. Perron, charged him with possessing marijuana with intent to sell. He said, "I've sold marijuana all my life, and lots of it. But I was not selling it that night. that they arrested me. He has quite a story. Anyway, he has passed at the age of 71, but he lived long enough to see, really the thing he had been advocating for all of his life kind of come to pass.
He'd been pushing it all that time.
Now, when you said tragedy, I was hoping you weren't going to say Mark Salling, because that's not a tragedy, because he's a piece of
Mark
crap.
Salling from Glee, who was convicted, and I think he was just awaiting sentencing, wasn't he, for child pornography charges. He was that guy with the mohawk in Glee. He did, I guess he did the right thing. I don't know.
Well, don't say that. I'm just saying I don't think anybody's sad that he's...
Did he shoot himself? Is that
It
how he
doesn't
did
say. It just says...
He ended his own life.
It was,
rather than go to prison and live with those demons, he took the coward's way out, I guess. Maybe you could say that.
But he had thousands of child porn.
Jeremy Piven been hit with more charges of sexual misconduct. 3 more women accusing Jeremy Piven of sexual misconduct, bringing the total to 8. The latest allegations against the Entourage star.
Hear his defense, though.
What is it?
Did you read it?
No.
He's like, she's claiming I picked her up and I was holding her while I was assaulted. Have you ever tried to pick a woman up? And his defense is, it's hard to hold a woman.
What?
I've done it.
Like with both legs, and then
what?
I've done it.
I'm not strong enough to do.
I've done that.
I don't.
Well, he's a little guy.
I'm a little guy.
He says he has never, ever
He's saying it's
forced
physically-
himself on anyone or exposed himself to anyone or restrained anyone against their will.
Yeah, he's saying it's physically impossible for me to do.
He's a
what-
weakling is what he's saying.
That's
I'm a weakling.
That's not Jeremy Piven.
That's Scott Baio. That's another. I know it's hard to keep track
That's
of all the
Scott
sex.
Baio and
Are we headed there?
Nicole Eggert. Yeah, Nicole Eggert said that Scott Baio, we talked about this yesterday, but she said that molestation I've been talking about started, whatever he says we had some kind of consensual thing when I was a little older. No, started when I was 14, and we once a week.
He's not
Once a week.
denying it, by the way.
No.
He's just saying stop talking about it because I have kids.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. Now, we should mention this again. Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, J.P. Morgan, big companies. They are teaming up to provide health insurance. They're going to become self-insured entity, health insurance for all of their employees. The alliance is a sign of how frustrated American businesses are with the state of the nation's healthcare system and the rapidly spiraling cost of medical treatment. I wonder if our boss, Deloy, he's a well-moneyed man. I wonder if he knows Jeff Bezos, or he might know Warren Buffett.
I don't know.
Let's get our company in on this.
Let's do it.
So immediately shares in insurance companies plummeted because it scares them. It scares them, and good, it does. It scares them because they're going, this is some kind of because they're saying we don't want to make money at this. We just want to provide good insurance for our employees, and they think that it might become big enough that one day, and not in the very distant future, pretty soon, they could end up insuring everybody in America because the government won't do it.
You go to Amazon and you buy, your
insurance
and your books and your
I got a new pair of flip flops coming.
your flip flops
and I got a case for my mixing board coming. So it should be delivered today. And wouldn't it be nice if my health insurance would come
delivered
today?
right to your door?
And I just charge it to my Amazon card, so I get points.
If only a drone could come and pick up my samples.
Yeah. Hey, and drop off my meds.
But maybe.
At least drop off my meds.
No kidding. I think monopolies are sometimes a really good thing.
Depends. If they're not evil, then yeah.
Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan Chase. This is a big deal.
An interesting development.
And I think Amazon is still making noise about selling prescription drugs as well.
Just as we were saying, and you have them
Something's got to be done.
to your house.
Something's got to be done about that. I got to look at some of Dad's bills before he died with, the prescription drugs. Now he had some pretty decent insurance because he worked for the government and all that. But man, that was some expensive stuff. And I just don't know how people, if you're even just squeaking by, how do you afford the meds that keep you alive?
You don't.
And a lot of times you don't.
You decide between eating or medication.
A lot of times people don't take the medications that they need
to
ease them or to keep them alive. They just don't take them, and then they die.
Yeah.
That's we have the greatest healthcare system in the entire world here.
That's what Mr. Hannity says.
Don't get me. Don't ever. Let's.
Should we not mention his name?
I don't. Trump, I can take. I can't take Hannity.
You hate Hannity more than Trump?
Oh yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Gina. Really, way more.
Way more?
Yes, because he is the devil's helper. He is the guy. Don't get me started. Don't get me.
All right.
He's worse because I think he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Weather? What?
I can't remember.
It's weather.
Brought to you by
climate change.
And get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with Power Cashback credit card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org. It's 54.
54?
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, the winner of round 1 in the 7 o'clock hour going against the winner of round 2 in the 8 o'clock hour. Round 1 was, I got a list of Jews here. It's a Republican congressional candidate in Wisconsin. He's very, very, well, he's more than conservative. He's alt, right.
Alt, right.
Yeah, he is alt, right. And he told a columnist for the New York Post, John Podhoretz, who's a well-known columnist and political commentator, he told Podhoretz to eat a bullet, and then he tweeted out a list of his enemies. This congressional candidate did. By the way, his name is Paul Nehlen. Here are my political enemies. You'll notice I've researched their religions. Almost all of them are Jews. They're against me. That's number 1. Going against Boner candidate number 2. Representative Chris Stewart from here in Utah, who was on the MSNBC, and he was being interviewed by Katie Tour, and she said, do you think that President Trump might be trying to purge the FBI and the Justice Department of officials who are investigating him? And he said, well, Katie, I don't think so, but, we have to disagree. We see things differently because, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, Katie. To which she was stunned. And
then she let loose.
Yeah. All right, that's number 2.
All right, those are your choices. You got to decide which one is the worst, which one deserves to be Boner of the Day. 1 or 2. Remember your candidate number, put it in the message of a text, and then text it to 33986. It's one way to vote. Another way is to call 877-602-9696. Nick will pick up the phone and talk to you. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Fight January 31. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. You better hurry, though. You've got less than 4 minutes to do it. It's Boner of the Day. Let's go.
Stay tuned for a 1-hour nonstop music wingding right after Radio from Hell on X96.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News at 10, it's Rod Decker Undercover. What goes on behind the counter of your favorite burger joint? Are you getting more than you bargained for when you order it to go? Should we pay fast food workers more? And just what's in those deep-fried chicken pieces everybody orders? Our undercover reporter, Rod Decker, puts on a paper hat, a uniform, and a plastic badge with the name Bob on it, and he takes his hidden camera to uncover the truth about fast food.
Okay, Bob, I'm your manager. We'll start you out on the counter and see how you do.
Very good, sir. Hello, may I take your order?
Yes. I'll have a big burger, a 6-piece chicken thing, and a large root beer.
Would you like fries with that?
No. If I had wanted fries, I would have asked for fries.
So what you're telling me is that you don't want fries with your order.
That is what I said, isn't it?
Bob, you're slowing us down here. The customers are backing up. Let's move you over to fries for a bit. You work out there. We might be able to promote you to grill. You screw up, buddy, you're out of here.
Okay, then.
Oh, hey, Bob, I'm Ted. Welcome to Fry's. Pay no attention to the assistant manager. One community college management course, and he thinks he's rake rock.
I see. So what's your story?
I just need some spare cash. I don't see myself cleaning out the shake machine 10 years from now. Hey, Bob, Bill's brother here is smuggling a keg back from Evanston. Big beer bash tonight. You want to come?
So what you're saying is that there will be an illegal supply of alcoholic beverages available tonight.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. You're Rod Decker, the Channel 2 news guy. Hey, everybody, it's Rod Decker.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. My name is Bob. I'm just an everyday high school student trying to get by on minimum wage.
Hey, you are Rod Decker. Give me that paper hat. Did anyone tell him what's in the deep-fried chicken pieces?
No.
Good. Now back to work, all of you.
There you have it. Fast food workers seem to be highly trained professionals. The weak links, like me, get weeded out in a hurry due to first-rate management techniques. As for minimum wage, it seems to be enough for these kids to have beer money. And the deep-fried chicken pieces are still a mystery to me. This is Rod Decker, Undercover, KUTV News.
To award your boner.
And this morning's boner brought to you
in part by
a salad niçoise
tuna salad
with dry cured French olives, green beans, hard-boiled eggs, great dressing, and then I left out I made the potatoes, the vermouth potatoes, but didn't put them in the salad. My
Shame
wife,
on you.
We're eating the salad. We're done. Go in the kitchen. My wife said, "Why are these potatoes sitting over here? You didn't put them in the salad." Oh.
And Utah Presents brings a brand new kind of songbook to Kingsbury Hall, starring Stephen Page, former lead Bare Naked Ladies, with the Art of Time Ensemble, February 14th at Kingsbury Hall. Tickets at utahpresents.org.
That would be a great Valentine's concert. I think
Sure.
I think I'm going to that one too. I like.
Oh, you're going to both of the Utah
I
Presents.
think so. There are 3 of them that I really want to see in this season. If you're not familiar with Utah Presents, it's utahpresents.org.
Mm-hmm.
They do things at Kingsbury Hall, and they do a whole season of stuff that's really interesting. They did the White Rabbit, Red Rabbit that I was in.
Oh, yeah.
So we had boner candidate number 1. I got a long list of Jews here. These are my political opponents, said this guy running for Congress in Wisconsin, this ultra-conservative guy. And he said, these are my political enemies, and I've researched their religions, and look, they're almost all of them.
Have a whole spreadsheet?
Yep, he did it on an Excel spreadsheet. Look, almost all of them are Jews. What does that tell you? It tells us more about the fact that you researched it and feel it necessary to point out that they're Jews. And maybe the Jews don't like you. But, there are plenty of us Christians who don't like you either. And then there is boner candidate number 2, Katie. Katie, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We just see things differently. Katie, you can this is Representative Chris Stewart talking to Katie Tour on MSNBC. You can lay out these facts that seem to indicate that Donald Trump is trying to help derail an investigation into his campaign doings and his presidency. You can lay those facts out, but, women are from Venus, us men are from Mars. We just don't see them the same way. The winner, by a very big margin, actually.
Really?
Boner candidate number 2, Katie, men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
I wonder what Chris Stewart's wife thinks about that. If she hears the story and goes, well,
I don't
he's
know
right.
Honey, why do they pick on you, honey? I don't,
We just think differently.
You probably understand it better than I do, because we think differently.
I'm just a woman. What do I
I'm
know?
just a woman the Venus, I'm not logical.
Just emotional.
I'm emotional.
I don't make any rational decisions about things.
You men are from Mars, you're angry and warlike and red.
I'm red.
I am sometimes, too.
I'm glad I have you to lead me, because I couldn't possibly take care of myself without you.
Mars, the forbidden planet. It's the war planet. It's the god of war is Mars.
Of Mars.
Mars needs women.
Oh, wow.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, you need to see that one. Let's see. Any business that we need to take care of?
Maybe. I know, let's see, we've got the Radio from Hell Film Festival coming up.
Yep, you need to make a film. You still have time. I think there are a lot of people that do this last minute. You could win $1,000. If you hadn't thought to make a film until right now when you're listening to this, you're like, I've never made a film. I don't know. You win $1,000.
I'm starting my film today.
Are you?
Sure. I need $1,000.
What's the deadline?
It is.
Let me
go to
check
x96.com.
Yeah, when is the film festival? It's the 21st.
Of February.
It seems like it's that Monday or something, isn't it?
It's pretty close. We just need a couple of days to judge them and stuff. It'll be here at 50 West.
By the way, we don't judge them.
Media.
No.
We
know that.
Meaning Carrie, Bill, Gina. We don't.
Radio from Hell does not judge the Radio from Hell Film Festival.
We attend, and but we don't want to pick.
We have comments on them when we're there, but we don't jury the selection.
You guys can't handle the pressure. You don't like the pressure.
Well,
you don't want any of the blame.
We just learned a long time ago it's best any kind of a contest that we have, like if we have a pie baking contest or something, we'll taste all of the pies, but we have somebody else judge them.
I must be dumb. I don't see where there's any information.
What do you mean you must be dumb?
I mean, I'm dumb.
There you go.
So
you don't see it on the website? Any information about the film festival?
About the film festival?
Where would it be?
Well, that could be an oversight.
Click on the little.
I tried those. It's not there. It shouldn't be this hard.
No, it shouldn't be.
No, yeah. Going to a website should be easy and intuitive.
Yes, it should be. Oh, that must be where I go.
Exactly.
Because if people are making their films, they'll want to know the parameters and. This is our own website.
I'm really glad we could do this on the air, guys. This is excellent.
Still can't find it.
She's still spelling film.
What?
I'm going to propose that we don't do it next year.
It's under contests.
Well,
I'm going to propose we do the Radio from Hell Hell Phlegm Festival.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You know, I propose every year that we don't do the film festival.
Maybe we should do a Radio from Hell redesign our website.
But I don't know, Carrie. Really, you propose that we any project we do, you ultimately say, I don't think we should.
I don't need to do
anymore.
it.
If we're up to Carrie, we would just come in and do the show, and that would
More
be
of
all
us-
we ever
Most
do.
days he'll say that after the
Believe me.
show, too.
More of us just sitting in this room talking is best. Any other thing, we don't need.
We don't like things.
But we are doing this thing.
Yes.
So film submissions are due no later than Monday, February 12th at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And so if you go to x96.com, look under contests, and all the parameters are there.
You gotta have a flag in your film, an American flag, and you gotta have a phrase in your area somewhere in the dialogue of the film, and you could win $1,000.
No more than 5 minutes. You can do
Less
that.
than 5.
Less than 5.
And that's another thing I've been pushing is if we're going to
2
continue
minutes.
to do
The Radio from Hell 1 minute film
the
festival.
film festival, it should be shorts. It should be very shorts. It should be 2.5 minutes.
5 is too long.
5 is way too long.
Because you say 5, and I think people feel like they have to fill 5 minutes. No.
No.
If you can get your point across in 2 or 3 minutes, perfect.
And I will be telling the judges when they're called the day before the film festival
You don't know who
to
you
see
are
if they
yet.
are the judges, because I know how this works, because I know a couple of the judges. I will be telling the judges that they need to take points off for the length of the film. If it's long, if it's that whole 5 minutes, then feel free to deduct some points
For being too slow.
for being too slow.
You say it in 5, you could have said it in 3.
Yep.
You're out of there or something.
Now the best part about having this at 50 West, 2 things.
You can drink.
Is we can drink. The second is that they set up a couch right down in front of the screen for us, and that means I can heckle the films.
Carrie's lots of fun to watch these with.
I'm sure he is. It
I
sounds
get-
great.
I treat them all like my kids made them.
Nope.
And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Look, I understand.
Carrie doesn't worry about hurting feelings.
Here's the thing: is that if you're going to be an artist, you got to know not everyone is going to be nice.
Not everyone's going to be your mom.
I have been in a lot of plays and read a lot of reviews of my performances, and I can guarantee you that I've read bad ones.
All right,
and they hurt.
It does, but you take and you learn from it.
You have to.
This is not going to get people to enter if we talk about we're
You
going to
could
be
win
mean.
$1,000 for making a film.
Less films, though. All right. Thank you, Dylan.
I don't think I can win, though, right?
No,
I don't think you can. No. Let's get it. Let's do this. Zero fatalities. It's join the resistance.
ZeroFatalities.com is the website.
And you go there and it says join the resistance. And what that means is you are pledging to not drive distracted.
And I did it again this morning because I was looking for the supermoon.
Yeah.
No. And I did it in the same place. I was turning the
Carrie,
corner. And I went,
take the pledge.
Yeah.
And because so you say, what does that do, taking the pledge? It makes it top of mind for you. Like you're going to get in your car and you're going to remember you did that. And you're like, okay, I'm going to put your phone in the glove compartment. Just put it so you're not even tempted to
put it in the center console.
I'm talking about the moon, but it's mostly your phone that you're distracted by. So
I'm pretty good about not doing anything. I will take calls on Bluetooth, but other than that, I don't text or anything like that from the car. So join the resistance. Zero fatalities is the goal. Go to zerofatalities.com.
John Smith.
Yes.
You are lucky. I am a principled, nice person.
Ooh.
Well, did I leave?
You left your Facebook up.
Oh.
Where?
Just-
in here?
No, at your desk.
What are you doing at my desk?
I walk past your desk to get to my desk.
And she always scans it and looks for stuff she
No,
wants.
it was sitting there. That's
you
dangerous.
could have said so many wonderful things.
Yeah, if you were really nice, you would have sat down and said a few nice things.
You
about
could
it.
have said, "By golly."
It's just a warning. That's not the first time you've
Is
left
there?
it up in here. Didn't Carrie find it open in here once?
I did once, yeah. I found yours open a couple of times. I found
Richie's
Richie's
is always-
open all the time.
Richie's email is always open.
And I've always been tempted to post on his Facebook.
I'm a trusting individual. I
Yes,
know
you
that
are.
my coworkers respect me enough.
They don't.
No, they
though.
don't.
They really don't.
They really don't. We don't really. We just do it because we don't do stuff like that because it's not ethical. It's not. We don't.
Well,
we
I
don't
trust
like
my
you.
coworkers' ethics.
You are lucky that our staff, our air staff specifically, are not typical radio people. Because you
That's
know
true.
what typical radio people would do.
They'd put they
It'd be, I am John and I am gay. I've been
Yeah.
living a lie. And yeah.
I'm ashamed of my small.
Yeah.
Or
Now wait a
something, you
minute.
know.
John Smith is gay and he's been living
Yep.
a lie. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
True.
Yeah.
Is there
Learn,
some
learn
person?
something new every day.
Is there some person in your life that you said to yourself when you were younger, "I never want to end up like blank"?
When I was younger,
Yeah. When I grow up, I don't want to ever end up being like this person.
I figured one out when I was older. Does that count?
Well, yeah, and I probably know who that is.
Yeah, and the more you bring this up, it's like I bet people are going to want to call in that because they don't want to say.
But it's like, I mean, when I was a kid, I always thought I don't want to be like my father. I just will not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do to other kids what he does to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like that.
See, and I was a very privileged child. I'm not ashamed to say that. I had a very happy childhood. So most of the people
Were you
in my life
the the one that your mom liked the best? Your mom and
probably. I'm the Adam Goldberg of the family. You know,
Not
I
even
was
your sister.
Brett's 10 years older than me. My sister's 5 years older than me. So
you were the baby.
I was the baby.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So
Were you a mistake? Is that what you?
I was a surprise.
A surprise, not a mistake. You're a surprise.
I always said to my mother, she was very young when she had me. I think she was barely 18 when she got pregnant with me. And I would always say to her, "So were you married when you got pregnant?" Yes, of course I was. Of course she wasn't. She got married pretty quickly, but she wasn't married when she got pregnant with me.
But Dad was in the military, so I was always meeting really exceptional people.
You had a lot of good
I had a lot
people to
of
look
good
up to.
people coming around, and I was also just kind of left alone to my own imagination most of the time. So.
You're right, though, Gina. Probably most people don't want to answer that
No.
question. There is
I
somebody
can't
in your
say.
life that you can say to yourself, "I don't want to end up like that person," but you don't want to say who it is.
They might listen and.
Or it might get back to them. The people. Well, I wouldn't have cared if it gotten back to him when he was alive. But he's dead now.
And see, it was my father, but in a different way from yours.
Yeah, I know what you
it's
mean.
just he was happy with being a farmer and all that. That made him happy, but I didn't want that for
You don't want
myself.
to end up like
So that's
being a
different.
farmer.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a bad person for you to not want to end up.
Because that was pretty much the only options that I had was take over the farm.
Yeah.
No,
you don't want to do that.
Want to
But
be a
your-
farmer.
But fortunately, your brother,
my brother did.
he wants to do that.
Well, and he does a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I wouldn't have wanted to be a farmer either.
I said, my dad works 4 hours a day. That's awesome. I want that job.
He was a radio guy. And she, she's really held true to that.
I have.
4 hours. She does her 4 and hits the door.
It was the way, Bill, it's the way I was raised.
I blame society.
You're just like your father. I did my 4 and hit the door.
You don't really like Scotch that much, though, do you?
I'm more of a bourbon.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Bourbon, whiskeys.
So you've disappointed your father in that
A little
respect.
bit. But you know what? His favorite food? Chicken fried steak.
Is it?
I got that.
Hey, give me a big glass of Chivas and a chicken fried steak, and I'm a happy man.
Yep.
I don't know what chicken fried steak is.
What?
I mean, I always see it on the menu at like the Cracker
What do you
Barrel.
mean you don't know what it is?
I've never seen anybody order it. and
No,
I've
this
never had
food
it.
is so up your alley. Seriously, because you're such a picky.
So here's what you do,
something else.
John. You take a steak.
Yeah.
Or it's like a.
I'm already
steak,
out. I don't eat red meat.
And you well.
It's almost like a hamburger. It's
No, it's
they
the,
use
the
the
good
the
ki-
minute
no.
pounded steak. The minute
good,
steak.
The good kind is just
So it's not
a
chicken?
steak. No.
No.
And you pound it a
Flatten
little.
it out.
Flatten it out.
Okay.
Tenderize it.
Bread it.
It's already way
Like-
too much work for me.
It's like you bread it.
Like
It's like
chicken.
chicken.
Like fried
That's
chicken.
why they call
with-
it chicken fried.
And then
but
you
it's a piece of
and then you fry it.
Then you put gravy on it.
It's like the most calories you could have.
Yeah.
For
Why not
anything.
just have chicken?
Because
It's different.
I like
it's
chicken
steak.
fried chicken. Is
Then
that
you,
a
then you
thing?
put the white
Yes, it
gravy on
is.
it, and you serve it with mashed potatoes.
You know what chicken
It's a
fried chicken
million
is?
calories.
Chicken.
It's fried chicken.
Yes.
Had chicken fried pork.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
You remember when Chef Brian did? We were going to have chicken fried steak,
Yeah.
and he did chicken.
He did chicken.
So he did fried chicken.
Oh, that's awesome.
You could do the same
Fried chicken's
process
awesome.
with a piece of pork.
Sure.
you could.
Chicken
You
fried
could do
nachos.
chicken fried
That's
pork.
what I want.
There's
Why no
chicken-
red meat? I forgot to ask.
It makes my poo hard.
Oh, okay.
There's a name for chicken fried pork, and I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah.
It's it's pork cutlets.
It's pork
that are-
cutlets, but,
that
you
are-
know.
you put it in panko or batter, and
We could
Yeah,
do that.
I'm hungry.
it's delicious.
Hmm.
Yeah, pork. So you eat pork, right?
Yeah, I like pork.
Have some.
There
Try
you
some
go.
chicken
I
fried
say it's
pork.
just the red. I like pork, fish, chicken. I just don't eat red meat.
Just try some chicken fried pork.
Backs me up.
All right.
All right.
Let's do the promo and get out of here then.
Say that once. You didn't have to say it again.
On Thursday's Radio from Hell show.
At 6:45, tune in for Geek News on the radio, and then at 7, we'll play Beat Gina. If you beat Gina at Bill Murray Trivia, you could win a gift card to the Prohibition.
And then at 7:45, we want you to call in to participate in a special Thursday edition of the X Poll. We want you to tell us what was your favorite or least favorite movie of 2017.
It's all on Thursday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
What movie did Bill Murray star in with both of his brothers?
Brian Doyle and Joel?
Yeah.
Was Joel in Caddyshack?
Nope.
Don't know.
Was
Scrooged?
it Bob? What about Bob?
Nope.
What?
Razor's Edge?
Scrooged.
Scrooged.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to be good at this
Yeah,
trivia.
you're good at this.
Is it Schnitzel that is pork?
Yes.
Schnitzel, yeah.
Schnitzel.
Yeah, schnitzel
That's-
is pork, and it's fried usually in
delicious.
a batter.
So that's what you do.
Is that Wiener Schnitzel?
We'll
Wiener
just make it, American Schnitzel by doing the white gravy and the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
You'd like that.
I'm all over that.
It's
You'd like
delicious.
that. You'd like that. What you got today?
I have got
Schnitzel.
a nonstop wingding. But also, I talk a lot about this thing that I'm doing with my teeth. I'm getting every
Yes.
one of my teeth crowned. So I'm like, I'm going to give away some dental visits. Nothing says fun like giving away dentistry on the air.
So are you going to have like all your little baby teeth that you have in your mouth pulled out? Or
No, they'll be ground down and crowned.
Ground down and crown.
Ground down and crowned.
So you'll have chicken fried teeth.
On bulletproof teeth is what I'll have.
Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
I usually wouldn't get bad dandruff until April.
John Smith is next.
Please keep listening.
A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts now. Utah's original alternative, X96.